things for us. But I just think that as you go through it, we're looking for the best decision for the team as we went through that.
So we have some guys here who would know more about whether Dez could win one-on-ones and how consistent he was or was not. DeAngelo Hall and Will Blackmon, who have faced him for the last couple of years with the Redskins. Have you seen the things that he talked about there?
I've seen some of them. I made the statement earlier that I still think Dez can play football. I think he can be an exceptional receiver. I think he can help win a lot of games. I think he can win one-on-one matchups. I also think Dez needs to realize where he's best suited. I said he needs to go inside and play in that slot role. He's not a guy. He's never been a real fast guy. He's always been a more powerful guy than he has been fast. And so I like to see him inside where he can use that strength and his ability to run after the catch, just run more option routes instead of downfield. He's not running past anybody now. But I think he still can play in this league, absolutely.
I can say that I have won some battles versus Dez, and I have lost some battles versus Dez. I mean, that's an interesting quote to say that he has won some and lost some. I feel like with Dez, he's only 30 years old, and that's not a dinosaur. I mean, as soon as Tony Romo left, his stats did go down. I felt like they featured, obviously, they drafted Zeke, and they featured him more. And then a lot of passes, as you know, D-Hall, they went to Cole Beasley inside and Jason Witten inside. So I think he's in a situation where he's similar to Anquan Boldin, where he doesn't necessarily have to be wide open. If he's covered, he's still open. He's a very, very strong receiver. So Dez, he's going to find the right situation, and I think he'll be just fine.
It's almost been 3 weeks, as Dan mentioned, since he was cut by the Cowboys. Still doesn't have a team. Is that a bad sign?
You know what? I'm in a situation right now where I worked out for 4 teams, and a lot of them told me, hey, you know what? Let us go through the draft, and then after that, let the young guys go through rookie minicamp, and then we'll see what we need. And I think right now, Dez is in that same situation where let the team draft who they want, let them see who they have in minicamp, and then after that, he'll find the right situation. Dez is in no rush to go anywhere, as I don't think he should be, and he'll find the right situation.
Yeah, and if I can piggyback off
Yeah,
that,
of course.
I just think Dez needs to really just go to play football. It's not about the money at this point. I'm sure he has offers, but I'm also positive that their offers aren't where he wants them to be money-wise. And he wants a one-year deal where he can go out and prove it. That's the formula that a lot of guys who've gotten cut do. It kind of, it wasn't the best situation for him because he got cut after free agency. If he would have got cut before free agency, I'm sure a lot of teams would have been clamoring to try to get their hands on Dez Bryant. But because he got cut after free agency, now he's kind of in that waiting game like Will talked about, where he has to wait and kind of see, what other guys that are on rosters, just see how they play, if they play well, if they don't. And, injuries as well. That plays into it too. So I think Dez will find a home, but it won't be for top money. It's going to be a, low money deal where he has to go in there and prove it, and then he'll get paid the following year.
You mentioned mini camps. Browns have one that starts on Friday. It'll be our first chance to see Baker Mayfield on the field in Berea with his new rookie teammates, who the Browns are expecting him to have a positive effect on. In fact, according to their scouting chief, Alonzo Highsmith, that's part of the reason they drafted him, because of his power to affect other people. He said that's something guys like Favre, Montana, Kosar, Rodgers, Troy, they all had. There's a kind of presence with them, he says. Like when you're a young kid and your big brother was around, and you always felt a lot more confident when your brother was there with you. When I met Baker, I saw that in him. So if we needed any more proof that the Browns have moved away from all the analytics approach, Exhibit A right there. He's talking about a gut feeling, right, which is something that's tough to quantify. How important is it that a quarterback have the trait that he's talking about?
It's huge. It's funny because Alonzo Highsmith, he actually had Sam Darnold rated the whole year as the #1 quarterback, as most people did. And he didn't change his mind until he actually met Baker Mayfield. And the word he used exactly was efficacy, and that's the effect that changed people around you. He walked into the room, you heard Hugh Jackson mentioned that, I guess Baker yelled the hee to the whole building. Everyone else responded with the same chant. And just how motivating and inspired he was. And you can go through his history. He walked on to Texas Tech, and then he left there and then walked on to Oklahoma. Just his adversity and resilience just to keep fighting as a Duck. And I think that's exactly the type of person that they were looking for in Cleveland.
Have you seen examples with your quarterbacks where someone just feels like a leader and they inspire the guys around them to do better, and then vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Baker's a guy who, from the jump, it was just something about him. And I've never met him at all. But he's just a guy that he pulls you into him. It's something about him. It's his moxie. It's the arrogance. It's the confidence. It's all of those things that, as a player, especially a defensive player, when you see quarterbacks who generally don't have those traits, when you see them doing that and showing it, you feel more connected to them. It's guys you want to go out and have a beer with. I think Baker's one of those guys that I think everybody in that locker room would definitely rally behind and want to hang out with him. And he's cool enough and seems cool enough that he's conjuring up those conversations. He's not waiting for guys to come talk to him. I think he's very approachable, and I think those guys will definitely rally behind him.
Well, we will see, at least in part, on Friday when we get a chance to see him interacting with his rookie teammates, at least for the first time on the field for that rookie minicamp. Dan?
Go ahead, Dan.
More from Alonzo Highsmith and the recon he was doing on quarterbacks in the draft. This one regarding Josh Rosen is kind of bizarre. Highsmith saw the UCLA volleyball team at the airport and approached the volleyball coach to inquire about Rosen, asking what Rosen was like. The coach said his girlfriend is on the team, and she's right over there, so you should ask her. Highsmith declined and went on to say later there was something about Rosen that just bothered him. Rosen talked about that story today on The Rich Eisen Show.
I thought it was interesting he didn't talk to my girlfriend. Maybe he was scared of someone actually saying something good about me. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
So there would have been no red flags, right? I mean, what would her scouting report of you have been, Josh?
It's amazing that you can pull a red flag from something with literally zero information. Like, he literally pulled absolutely no information from his encounter, and it managed to be a red flag.
Rosen kind of worked his way around that question about the scouting report of his girlfriend. On the flip side of that strange story is this one about the current starting quarterback for the Cardinals, and of course Sam Bradford. Bradford texted the 10th overall pick after he was drafted saying, quote, "Just want to let you know that I look forward to playing with you. I'll be an open book, so if you ever need anything or have any questions, feel free to ask." Nice thing to do from the senior quarterback in that quarterback room. Our QB, David Carr, joining us now. The QB room, if guys don't get along, can probably be a little awkward. How important could Sam Bradford be in Rosen's development?
He could be vital in his development. I think that's a great thing about having a veteran quarterback that's also been a first-round pick. He understands coming into that locker room that he didn't know at that point. And Josh has come in with a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of confidence, but I think that the way Sam can approach this is, hey, man, I've been down the road, I'm going to help you out, and just show that. And if Josh is open to that and isn't coming in there trying to steal Sam's job right off the bat, if they can work together, the quarterback room can actually be a very positive thing for the rest of the football team. It can help a young football team, a team that's trying to get back there and play some good football. So if these guys can show that they're working together for the interest of the rest of the guys in that locker room, it's going to be better for the Arizona Cardinals. Is it better that Bradford is on a one-year deal? He's been around the league. He's made a ton of money. He knows the writing's on the wall there. I think Sam knows. This is obviously it's not a 4 or 5 year deal. They don't think that he's the quarterback of the future. They'd like him to come in, be healthy, and play some good football if Josh is not ready. But I think that Sam, going into Arizona, knew they were going to draft a quarterback high, and then he was probably going to eventually be replaced. So Sam can stay healthy, get out there and play great if Josh is ready. I think that this is a good situation for Arizona. I don't think there's going to be any issues. Yeah, not a matter of if, just when Josh Rosen gets on the field there in Arizona. Day 2 of the player safety meetings at NFL headquarters wrapped up today. There are going to be changes coming to the kickoffs to prevent some of the most violent collisions in the game. Judy Battista and Jim Trotter have more from New York City.
Today's kickoff summit here at the league office was all about potential changes to the kickoff rule. And Jim, it certainly sounds like those changes are coming for 2018. Let's hit some of the highlights of what the new rule might look like. No wedge allowed at all. No running start by the kicking team. No pre-kick motion by the kicking team. And 8 blockers will be allowed up close to the kick. That means only 3 men back. The obvious intent here, Jim, is to make the most dangerous play in the game much safer. It's important to note this. Mark Murphy of the Packers, who's a member of the competition committee, said even with these changes, it's a short leash. They're going to go year to year here, and if they don't see a reduction in the injuries, particularly in concussions, There's a chance that the kickoff goes away entirely. The intent of these changes is to try to save the kickoff.
And that's why today's summit was so important, because it was a collaborative effort. You had owners, you had head coaches, you had position coaches, you had medical people, you had league officials, you had game officials. They all understand they have to work together to make the play safer and thus make the game safer. And that's what this summit was all about.
Former 49ers safety Eric Reid has filed a collusion claim against the NFL because he hasn't been signed by a team. Reid believes that his social activism, which included kneeling during the anthem, is the reason why. His case will be heard by an arbitrator under the terms of the collective bargaining agreement. The Chargers have exercised the fifth-year option for running back Melvin Gordon, who is coming off his first 1,000-yard season. He will earn just over $5.6 million in 2019. Not all fifth-year options have been exercised. Here's a look at some of the notable players who didn't get those options picked up, including Shane Ray, Dante Fowler, and Eric Flowers.
With 6 total picks, the AFC North dominated draft day 1.
Baker Mayfield.
Wow. You know all about the Heisman guys.
Lamar Jackson.
But forget the big names and focus on the big picture. If the draft is a test, and it is, who aced it and who spaced it? We're also launching a new game called Predict the Pick. Not next year's draft. We're not that good.
Intercepted!
Will Blackman picked off Andrew Luck for his first INT. Who will Minka get? What about Derwin? Player hint, check the schedule.
Plus, the Cleveland Kid doesn't see a difference between playing on Saturdays and playing on Sundays.
At the game of football, it's the same.
And you gotta love the confidence, but you have to know the truth.
Carr, sacked.
There is a difference.
He's dropped again at the 10.
And it's huge.
Carr, nowhere to go.
Carr to Mayfield, 1-to-1. Class in session after this.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by Wendy's. Come taste the new Southwest Avocado Chicken Sandwich for a limited time at participating Wendy's.
With Kelley Blue Book, you don't have to be clear on the exact car you need. Just that it needs to fit all the kids, plus the dog. Or it needs to haul everything, and then some. No matter what you need your car for, we can be your guide. As the only resource with over 90 years of experience, our pricing tools and expert reviews can bring your next car into focus. Kelley Blue Book, your car guide.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal. He's a freak of nature.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL and probably the NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018. Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
When night falls,
it's time to play football.
Legends rise.
On a beautiful Thursday night, Houston, we have a quarterback. Touchdown! Raiders win it! Hero West. Are you kidding me?
With a new home on Fox, streaming on Prime Video, and every game on NFL Network.
Let's go!
When I was younger, I didn't want to admit I had a serious disease. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a normal kid. Because of my diabetes, I lost the sight in my left eye. Misconceptions continue to surround this monster public health issue. But the simple truth is, diabetes can often be prevented and complications avoided. I think if I had just been open and honest about what my challenges were, I think it would have been easier for me to take better care of myself. If you don't take care of yourself when you're younger with this condition, it will catch up to you later on. You're going to find the courage to manage this disease for the rest of your life by reaching out for help. Reach out to people who care about you. Reach out to people who know how to help you with this disease. You're not alone. Understand the realities of diabetes and know that you can manage it and lead a full, active life.
there can be no debate. What a person to build a franchise around.
What will the Browns do first overall? Will it be Baker Mayfield?
With the first choice, with the first pick, Houston Texans select. The Cleveland Browns select David Carr, quarterback from Fresno State.
David Carr. How about them Texans? They've got their quarterback on. Strap it up in Cleveland, baby.
2 number 1 picks, and aside from about 3 inches and a 16-year age difference, it's like looking in the mirror if you take their situations into account. Number of wins the Texans had the year before they drafted David? 0. How many wins did he have in his senior year of college? Double digits. Who did he open up against in the preseason? New York Giants. Baker better hope he doesn't get sacked 35 times in that game like you did, give or take, roughly.
I'm like 12 years old right there.
Could you drive yourself to the facility?
Why'd they let him play? Anyway. All right.
Okay, my point is, though, that you've been in a similar situation to the one that Mayfield is in now, taking over a team that's in pretty rough shape. Yeah. So you know what works and what doesn't work, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this.
At the game of football, it's the same. It's just a matter of terminology, language, and how they teach it. So you're not going to find one guy that's reinventing the wheel.
The confidence?
It is. It's good confidence.
Will it serve him well in this instance?
For the most part, he's right. The game of football is the same. X's and O's wise, there are only so many guys that are going to do things completely different than the norm. But everyone's an All-American. That's what he has to understand. They're all good. So you can't just rely on confidence, making plays off course, and that kind of getting you through. The biggest thing that he's going to have to do is he has to really be honest with himself. You have to do that every day as a quarterback, especially in OTAs. You can't just go in there and let your confidence go so far over the top that you are blind to the things that you need to work on. You have to find out what your weaknesses are, find out what those are, identify them, and make them your strengths. And then find out what your strengths are and let that be the edge that takes you over the top and beats the other quarterbacks in the league that are the best in the world. So if you want to be one of those guys, you have to be really honest with yourself, and you got to be a guy that can go out there. Obviously, leadership's not going to be an issue with him. We all have heard about the great things that he is and the intangibles that he has. It's going to be the little things about just being detailed. Say his weakness is study habits, right? He thinks that he can get away with just being a better athlete and making plays. We got to make that your strength. Come in earlier, stay longer than everybody. As soon as that's on the level playing field with the rest of the quarterbacks in the league, then find out what you're really good at, what you have that none of those guys have. And I'm sure that he feels that he has a couple things that some guys in the NFL don't have at the quarterback position, and make that your edge, and that's going to keep you around for a while.
Obviously, the Browns feel similarly. Hugh Jackson says that he will start out as 3rd on the depth chart behind Tyrod Taylor and Drew Stanton. He says that he'll have to earn his way up. Is that an important part of the process?
I think it's just all about kind of the stuff that we had just talked about. It's all part of that process. And if you come in and you just hand the guy the keys, then he doesn't feel like he has to really be honest with himself. Well, they've already told me I'm better than everybody else. I just have to go out there, continue to do what I'm doing. But really, there's a huge learning curve for young quarterbacks. I've been there. I know how hard that is. I shouldn't have been on the field. Charlie will tell you that. I felt the same way. Physically, I was better than the guys that were in camp, so I was able to go out on the field. Baker's going to be close to the same situation, although I think Tyrod will push him a little bit more than what I had.
Again, Baker on the field Friday for the first day of a 3-day Browns rookie minicamp. Aditi Kinkhabwala will be there, and we will have coverage of it from Berea.
How about the guys who would love to see Baker Mayfield in their rookie seasons? These are the safeties that got drafted in the first round. Minkah Fitzpatrick went to the Dolphins. Derwin James fell to the Chargers. And then Terrell Edmunds, brother of Tremaine Edmunds, picked by the Steelers at the end of the first round. Back with free agent safety, Super Bowl champ Will Blackmon to talk about the impact of these 3 first-round picks. Let's start with Minkah Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins. They had the 16th ranked pass D last year. What does he bring to the table?
I'll tell you what, he definitely reminds me of, a Charles Woodson type of player, one who is versatile. He can line up in the slot. He can line up at corner. He can line up at safety. He's one of the 2 to win the Heisman and the Chuck Bednarik Award in college. So I think it'd be interesting to see what D coordinator Matt Burke, who, which is funny, Matt Burke was a graduate assistant my freshman year at Boston College. So interesting to see what he does with him. I think I like him back there at free safety with Rashad Jones, who I think, probably is one of the best safeties when healthy.
And Minkah didn't win the Heisman and the Chuck Bednarik. You meant Woodson, right? I just wanted to clarify.
Why did I say Heisman? The Thorpe. Excuse me.
I knew what you were talking about.
The Thorpe.
Let's think of something positive here. Your first ever career interception. Do you remember when that was?
You know what? I know it was against Andrew Luck. I believe it was 2013. It was funny. I actually played special teams for about 7 years, and I didn't play defense till later. But this one, I mean, I was shocked that he threw it to me. It hit me right in the chest, and I said, well, thank you. I actually had one before that, and it didn't count. I guess there was an all-size penalty, but yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you.
Heck yeah. What a moment that was. We're going to put up the Dolphins schedule.
We got stomped that game, by the way.
But that's not what you remember. You remember your first pick, right?
I remember
Be selfish for a moment. You remember it all. You remember it all. Let's put up this Dolphins schedule here, and I want you to tell me which quarterback Minkah is going to pick off first. You can see it on the side of your screen there. They start with Tennessee, and then they...
You know what? I'm going to say it's going to be week 4.
Okay.
Miami's going up to Foxborough.
Oh, stop it.
Minkah's getting the GOAT.
He's going to pick off Brady?
Minkah's getting the GOAT.
First ever pick?
First ever pick. Minkah is going after the GOAT. It's going to happen.
Where does that ball go?
That ball goes in the shelf, man.
Yeah.
It might go to the Hall of Fame. Why not?
It's going on the mantle of the Hall of Fame.
It's going on the
You're
mantle.
setting the expectations really high.
I know maybe something going on here. Maybe, I know Belichick and Saban have a good relationship. Maybe he'll just call some.
He's going to hook him up? I don't think Brady's down with that. Let's talk about Derwin James. He drops to the Chargers at the 17th overall pick, replacing a friend of the show, Trey Boston, essentially there with the Chargers on a defense that was really good.
Right. I think this is a great pick, a great situation for the Chargers. Ironically, our colleague Bucky Brooks compared him to Cam Chancellor up in Seattle, and which is funny is now he's with Coach Gus Bradley, who helped,
great point.
who helped with the maturation process for Cam Chancellor, and also this offseason he was mentored by Earl Thomas. So it's only right that he's with Coach Gus Bradley in that defense. And you mentioned Trey Boston, who led the team with 5 picks last year, and I think with the pass rush with Bosa and Ingram, I think this is a great situation for him in that system. I've played in that system. He's going to be outstanding.
Also has a very close relationship with Casey Hayward, who is a Pro Bowl cornerback there in San Diego. Okay, who's Derwin going to pick off first?
We're going right off the bat. We're going week 1. I'm sorry, Pat Mahomes, but
oh my goodness,
it's going right to him. Right to him.
Well, we've talked to Travis Kelce several times before. He said he thinks Mahomes is going to be great, but they're going to be growing pains, and that means turnovers.
Peyton Manning led the league in picks his first year, so he was great.
There you go. This will be his first full-time season to start. He was okay.
He was
okay, fellow volunteer. Terrell Edmunds, we mentioned earlier, his brother drafted by the Bills 16th overall. Terrell picked by the Steelers 28th. What does he bring to the table?
I think he reminds me of Deion Buchanan over to Arizona, the type where he's going to play close to the line of scrimmage, could be like a linebacker, rover, dime type of player. It'd be interesting to see what coach, the defensive coordinator does with him. I'm really excited to see what he's going to be like, and I think this is a really good pick for them to bring the physicalness to bring physical play to the defense, so I'm interested to see what he does.
Kind of a hybrid thumper there in Pittsburgh. They have a couple of good safeties there already. Who is he going to pick off first? Terrell Edmunds.
You know what? I hate to do it, but my guy Jameis down in Tampa, I feel like this is going to be a game where Jameis is going to be hot, 10 for 10, and then he's going to just have one of those where he just... You're like, Jameis, what's going on here? It's just
been a few of those over the years,
It's been a few. Jameis is incredible, and I think he's going to do very, very well. But sometimes he has one of those where he's feeling it, and he just might try to force it in there one time, and Edmunds might be the one.
He's been known not to give up on a play. All right, well, you were very kind to all the rookie safeties.
I was very kind. Yeah. Week 1, get a pick, somebody.
Nobody later than week 4 from this guy. Will Blackman handing out great grades.
I'm a DB. What can you say?
Yeah,
you know?
it's the brotherhood. As the number 8 pick in 2004, D'Angelo Hall was cocky. He was quick. And he posted a 40 time of 4.15 at Virginia Tech. Am I reading that right?
Win-aided.
Oh, my goodness. One weekend in the NFL, D'Angelo thought he was way too slow. After the break, the humbling ride of an NFL rookie.
You want a home near great restaurants with a kitchen you'll cook in. Someday. You need Realtor.com, the home of home search.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive, but then I went to GoodRx.com.
It just works. You put in the drug you're looking for, and bang, you've got half a dozen or more choices in front of you of pricing and locations to get it.
You never think about
shopping around for medication prices.
I have good insurance, but with GoodRx, I save even more money.
What? I was paying how much?
And it's absolutely free. No cost to me whatsoever.
I get to save $1,180 a year with GoodRx. This is awesome.
Go to GoodRx.com and check it out.
Sign here, please.
Aw, fan. I am doing less and less autographs these days.
From autographs to end zone celebrations, NFL Experience is a first-hand look at what it's like to be in the NFL.
Here, take this. I used that today. I'm all about my fans.
Get tickets now at NFLExperience.com.
So you'll be here to help protect my car?
State Farm will be here.
Okay. What about here?
Yep, nice. My screen didn't crack.
Thank goodness. What about...
Obviously.
Here?
I don't think so.
That makes sense.
What about here?
Here too.
Awesome.
That wasn't my fault.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Welcome to Holiday Inn.
Thank you.
Wait, I have something for you.
Every stay is a special stay at Holiday Inn. Save up to 15% when you book early at HolidayInn.com.
Show us them muscles, baby!
Did somebody say muscle?
Yeah! Y'all boys ready to play some football?
Watch me!
Feel it in the air. Taste it hot off the grill. Spring is here, folks. The only question is, will you be? Kingsford, start something.
I can't believe they charged me this much. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Go to CashNetUSA.com now. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow.
Thanks. Who are you?
I'm CashNetUSA.com. Man.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
He was on the wrong side of controversy.
Everybody was sidelined like, I think we're about to get screwed.
The quarterback's arm is going forward.
Then struggled in his new home.
Had no clue how I got there. I think I was looking for a way out.
Until he brought glory back to Green Bay.
The title is back in town.
And cemented his Hall of Fame legacy where it all began.
Just watch this every move because he's walking greatness.
Charles Woodson, A Football Life, tomorrow at 9, only on NFL Network.
Now that the draft is done, we are really into the NFL offseason, and that is reflected in today's What's Trending. Team bonding away from the field. We've got the Chargers golfing together here in Southern California. Keenan Allen, Phillip Rivers. We have the Panthers golfing together in Charlotte. Ron Rivera paired up with Phil Mickelson for the Wells Fargo Pro-Am, getting coached up a little bit here by Lefty. Well, Luke Kuechly coaches up Greg Olsen. He's out there as the tight ends caddy with Ryan Khalil caddying for him or acting as security or something like that. Meanwhile, the part of the team that wasn't invited to that got together to go bowling, and it sounds like there are a few of them that are not quite as good as they are at football. Christian McCaffrey tweeting, I won't name names, but there are a couple liabilities in this group. Jags also had a few guys go bowling together. Calais, Calvin Smith, Blake Bortles, who is, according to Campbell, a monster with a bowling ball. Meanwhile, no days off for this guy. Tom Brady working out on the beach in swim trunks that appear to have his children's faces on them.
Awesome. This Friday, don't miss NFL Network's coverage of NFL Rookie Camp live from Seattle. Follow all the top picks on the field for the first time with their new clubs. That's NFL Rookie Camp this Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Back with Will Blackman and Dee Hall. You guys remember your first mini camps. It may not have been a rookie mini camp. You went through it. What should these guys expect the first time they get out there on the field with everybody there at the facility?
What I expected was to go out there and straight dominate. I thought, you know, like you joke saying I ran 4.15, I actually did. And so I said, man, nobody's as fast as me in the NFL. But I ran into a guy named Michael Vick who could throw a ball faster than I could run. And before you know it, I'm really questioning, can I do this? You know, I was a number 8 draft pick, and I'm expected to play. So I don't have time to try to figure it out. I have to go out there and play. And I can remember Mike throwing a post ball, and I'm like in perfect position. But somehow the ball just kept going, and I'm like, wow, guys in college didn't throw like this. And so, you know, it's still football. You know, I heard Baker say earlier, you know, football is football. It's still football, but I tell you what, these guys that you're going against are pros. They are fathers with kids at home, and they understand if they don't make that play, their kids don't eat. So it's a little bit of a different mindset when you talk about coming into a camp. You got guys who are fighting to try to make a ball team. And so you're going to get the best effort out of every guy, every single play. And I tell you what, I really had a come to Jesus moment where I felt like, you know what, I need to get in that playbook and really lock in.
Well, what made you realize that? Was it that throw? Was it a person? Who helped you?
Well, you know, I had a teammate named Kevin Mathis. He was a 10-year veteran by the time I got to Atlanta as a rookie. And he was a guy that told me, he was probably a 4.5 at best coming out. And I was, you know, 4.1, 4.2 guy. And he told me, look, young fella, that's what he always called me, young fella.
That's where you got it from.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. He even calls me that to this day. But he told me, it doesn't matter if I run 4.5 and you run 4.2. I know where I'm going. So you're 4.2. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter. And that's the game. That's the NFL. I tell people all the time, it's chess, not checkers.
It's
you have to
situational
think
ball.
Plays ahead, and you know what I mean, and really lock down and know your assignment, know where your help is. That's how you become a star in the National Football League.
Can't really be thinking out there on the field. It has to be instinct. What was your welcome?
Well, I actually end up playing with one of the greatest situational masters in the NFL, and that's Charles Woodson. For me, it was different because, you know, I'm from Rhode Island, Providence, and I never met anyone in my life. I wasn't highly titled like D. Hall coming out of college. I think I was number 115, which is still pretty good, fourth round. But I remember getting to the cafeteria, and I was diehard Charles Woodson. So the year I got drafted is the year we signed him from Oakland. And I remember I usually, if I went to a new school or a new team, I would sit way in the back. So I sat in the back by myself in the cafeteria, and I look up and I seen Charles for the first time walk into the cafeteria. And I'm just like, oh, man, it's Charles. But, you know, I'm just going to mind my business and eat here. So after he gets his meal, I see him walking around. He's looking where to sit. And in front of me, there's probably 30 tables. He could have sat anywhere. And he just keeps coming towards me and towards me and towards me. And the more he gets closer, I start shrinking up. And he said, anyone sitting here? And I was like, oh, yeah. You can sit here, Charles, please. You know, have a seat. And he was like, how you doing? I'm like, I couldn't get any words out. Yeah, so that was my first experience at minicamp. But my minicamp and rookie camp was combined because Coach McCarthy, his first year there. But for me, it was seeing, you know, Charles Woodson there. It was seeing Brett Favre there. It was seeing Donald Driver. I mean, it was a lot of stars there. So for me, it was just, I had to get over the fact that, okay, you're here now. You're with these guys. You're one of them now. So, you know, get to work.
So it's seeing those guys when it became real for you. It was seeing Michael Vick throw the ball over your head and it became real for you. I can't wait to see how real it becomes for these young fellas very quickly. The first rookie mini camp starts here in just a couple of days. So with all that attention on the Browns and the Ravens, you can't blame Steelers and Bengals fans for feeling a little left out. But we're going to fix it. After the break, everyone in the AFC North is invited to see our grades for your draft.
Tonight on Path to the Draft, our experts do a full recap of this year's class with complete team-by-team breakdowns and draft grades.
That was one heck of a draft class.
Path to the Draft, the aftermath, tonight at 6 on NFL Network.
Experience the thrill of NFL Red Zone on NFL Network.
Stacked lineup of games today.
Every week, we'll replay a different Sunday afternoon of the 2017 season. Touchdown! NFL Red Zone Replay, Sunday at 1 on NFL Network.
Hey, you want affordable auto insurance from a company that provides great customer service? Check out The General.
At The General, monthly payments are low, and you can get immediate online proof of insurance.
Get your anonymous online quote with low payments and ride with The General.
Perfect. Now let's do the free throws. For a great low rate you can get online, go to The General and save some time.
Golden Corral is off the hook with the ultimate lunch, just $6.99 when you buy a drink.
Texas barbecue beef, boneless wings, and more. It is on, but it won't last long. The $6.99 Ultimate Lunch. Your choice rules.
Every day, I push myself to be better. Every day, I make choices. Every day, I bring the hustle. And Oikos 000 Greek non-fat yogurt helps me fuel it. It's got more of what I want, like 15 grams of protein, and less of what I don't, like added sugar. Because every decision and every moment matters. Oikos, fuel your hustle.
It's pretty amazing out there. The world is full of more possibilities than there's ever been. And the more you live forward, the more you need someone standing behind you. American Express has had your back for over 160 years.
Don't leave home without them.
Being there for moments big and small. This is about doing, enabling, partnering, so that you can get the most out of every moment, in life and in business, no matter whether it's your smallest need or biggest ambition. Because the more you take on the world, the more you need someone who's got your back. So whatever you do, wherever you go, don't take on the world without it. Don't fill up without it. Don't pay your vendors without it. Don't order a latte without it. Don't be your own boss without it. The powerful backing of American Express. Don't do business without it. Don't live life without it.
The King's turning up the heat and bringing the spice with these spicy nuggets. Filled with juicy white meat and priced at $10 for $1.69. A deal so hot you can taste it. 10 spicy nuggets for $1.69. Only at Burger King.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, AFC South, one of the best divisions. Who had the best draft? Special guest Yannick Ngakoue can't be impartial. Power Rankings guru Elliot Harrison has to be. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
The Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield.
Wow. It is Baker Mayfield. He has a love for the game. He plays with a great deal of passion and a lot of swagger.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Terrell Edmonds.
That's connecting the dots. That's checking boxes.
I love everything about him.
The Baltimore Ravens select Lamar Jackson.
This is the most exciting player in this draft.
Lamar's his guy, and so they are moving into a new direction and a new team and a new philosophy.
The AFC North is getting the red pin treatment today. Draft grades presented by Alexis and handed out by David and D'Angelo. Hopefully you are not as tough as TD, guys, who told us that he doesn't give out A's as a matter of principle and who downgraded everyone who had a chance to draft Rosen but did not.
Wow.
So I guess that means that the Browns should be happy that you guys are here today. Baker Mayfield, their selection at 1. That surprised some people, as did their 4th overall pick, Denzel Ward. Took him over Bradley Chubb. Turned around and got Nick Chubb in the 2nd round. 2 picks after they took a tackle, Austin Corbett, to help fill the void left by Joe Thomas. 9 picks total. How'd they do, David?
I actually like the Baker Mayfield pick. I gave that an A. Just that pick.
That one.
Everything else for me was questionable.
Yeah.
Like when they took Ward, I'm sure he's a great player. He probably is going to be a really good corner. But you could have had Bradley Chubb, pair him with Myles Garrett, and now you got someone to go get after Ben, and get after these quarterbacks, because that's where the league is at this point. And when you're picking at 4, I mean, I feel like you can get more of an impact player, although Denzel could probably be a really good player. I'm going to go with C overall for the Browns.
I'm a little nicer. I'm the teacher everybody wants.
I like it.
I gave him a B+.
Okay.
I wasn't really sold on the Baker pick, but I understand. If that's the direction they want to go, if they really feel confident about his leadership ability and the things that aren't tangible that he brings to the table, then I'm all for it. If they believe in it, but like you said, with that 4 pick, I kind of wanted Chubb. I wanted a guy who could put a gold jacket on. And Denzel Ward is actually a really good player. But, I wasn't in love with their total draft, but I give them a B+ because they did find some hidden gems. There's Antonio Callaway out of University of Florida. Didn't play football last year, but this kid's amazing. That's Mika Fitzpatrick right there, who we're talking about being a player. And he's a young kid in these clips because he didn't play last year. But he has speed. He trains down in Miami with Antonio Brown. He's very similar to Antonio Brown in just his ability. And, I mean, he's a football player. He has that dog that you talk about wanting guys to have. And so I gave him a B+.
About Ward, Greg Williams had an interesting explanation for that. He said that he watched 28 pass rushes of Myles Garrett from last year where he got within a couple of feet of the quarterback, but the ball came out. So he thinks that the ability, somebody to cover the wide receivers will give them more time to do their jobs.
What if you had Bradley Chubb on the other side? Would it be?
That would help too.
I'm with you. That
same
makes,
situation. If you get the ball out fast, it doesn't matter.
But the coaches have rationalized it. They know it will fit their system, so that's fine.
Okay, how about the Bengals? They went center in the first round to help out that second to last place rush offense from last season. Mark Walton should help in that department also. As for the defense, Bengals addressed all 3 levels in their first 4 picks, grabbing a safety, D-end, and linebacker. How do you grade that?
I like all of these picks, actually. I mean, starting from the center, I know it's not like the attractive pick when you take a center in the first round, but when you think about it, I mean, he makes the calls. He helps Andy Dalton with what's going on at the line of scrimmage. So if he's a good player and you have him pegged, go ahead and grab that guy. I gave them a B, actually. Out of Mike Mayock has a top 100. They got 5 of the top 100 guys on his list in their draft. So I thought they did a good job, B.
People in Cincinnati aren't going to like me. They had the worst draft to me. They did get good players, but I think they could have got better players. I gave them a C. We talk about the center, Billy Price. He was a good player, or he is a good player. Hurt his pec at the combine, so he's going to start on probably PUP or injured reserve or something like that until he can work back in. Pec's really not a major issue. He'll be able to bounce back from that. But to me, he wasn't even a top center. And so, to me, you have to get the top player at that position. Unless scheme-wise, they felt like he moved better or he was able to, do some things a little better for them. But to me, I gave him a C. I felt like it was an average draft.
I can see why you did that, too, because there aren't really, like you said, there aren't really those explosive guys that really stand out when you think about the Bengals draft. But it's pretty solid, but I see what you're saying.
Well, TD really liked Mark Walton.
Yeah.
Point that out. He
Hopefully
thinks that
they're
he's
all
going to be
great
very
players.
good there. How about the Ravens? They had 8 picks originally. They made some moves. They ended up with 12. That's the most in the draft. They addressed their 27th ranked offense in the first 4 picks, and they moved back 2 times to get their first pick in a place that they knew that they could get him. It was Ozzy's last draft. How do you think he did?
I think the Hayden Hurst pick is good, and I almost gave this an incomplete. I took a couple incompletes at Fresno. Okay? I'm just going to be 100% honest. That's what I did. But I'm going to give them a C because I'm not sure what they're going to do with Lamar. I want them to really sell out and go after the Lamar Jackson thing. If you're going to pick Lamar Jackson, you have to utilize every ounce of his ability, which is dynamic. And I just don't know if he's going to get a fair opportunity to do that if Joe Flacco's the quarterback and they're running more of a pro-style offense.
Well,
that's why I'm a little...
momentarily, for another year.
Yeah. But I want him to develop, right? I want Lamar to not just waste this year and say, okay, we'll play him next year. I want him to get reps at a system that he's going to be comfortable in, that they're going to utilize for his skills. So
David,
that's where I get concerned about.
This feels harsh to me. You said you're an easier grader.
I am, and I gave Baltimore the best grade in the AFC North. They have an A- from me because though Lamar Jackson has to sit for a little while, he was always a kid who had to sit for a little while. But I felt like 4 out of their top 5 picks have first-round talent. You talk about, this being Ozzy's last draft. I think he set this franchise up in a great position going forward. You gave him an incomplete because Lamar Jackson's not going to play next year, most likely, which I don't think he will either. He needs time to develop, but I think they can put a great offense around him. Orlando Brown, he dropped in the draft because he didn't have a great combine, but you watch his film, and this kid plays football. Anthony Averett is another kid out of Alabama who's played corner down there, I think, since his freshman year, and so he's a guy who has reps, and I watched him technique-wise. He's up there with Denzel Ward and Mike Hughes and Jair Alexander. He's just not really explosive and fast, but he can still play ball in this league, so I gave him an A-.
Steelers drafted 7 players, and I'm sure everyone was shocked that they went defense in the first round. For the 6th straight year, they got a wideout in the 2nd round. For the 2nd straight year, Mason Rudolph in the 3rd, who apparently will not play for 3 to 5 years, according to Ben Roethlisberger. How do you grade them?
You know what? We saw Ryan Shazier as a great moment come out and give a pick. I wish they would have taken a linebacker or someone to help them because he's obviously not going to be able to play next year. That would have been something that I would have focused on. James Washington's a good pick, fill a need. I gave him a C again. I know, right down the middle because you just don't know. Just because of the fact that by drafting Mason Rudolph, you're guaranteed to get 3 to 5 more years out of Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, you heard him come out and say it. So I'm going to say it's a pretty good pick by taking Mason because you're stoked to fire under Big Ben.
I gave him a B. I gave him a B because, like you said, they do need linebacker help, but Terrell Edmonds is a guy who's going to play a little bit of that dime linebacker role in sub packages. He's going to play safety a little bit. I like the Mason Rudolph pick. I felt like they're gearing up for the future. Ben is 37 years old. It's the thing I harped on with not the Eagles, with the Giants. At the end of the day, even if you think Eli has 3 more years, he's still 37 years old. At some point, you got to do it. You have to find a backup for him, unless you're sold on the guys you have. And so I like Mason Rudolph. I like Terrell Edmonds. And so, I gave Pittsburgh a B.
All right, that's the AFC North. Tomorrow, it's the AFC South. Let's see if the grades are as tough.
All right.
Conference champs, watch your backs. We're not sure your favorites now.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles!
After free agency and the draft, who's the biggest threat to the Eagles and Pats?
Touchdown Patriots!
Prime suspects for a major coup. Next on NFL Total Access.
I can't believe they charged me this much. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Go to CashNetUSA.com now. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow.
Thanks. Who are you?
I'm CashNetUSA.com. Man.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Guys, this may be the last time you ever have to think about hair loss, because I'm telling you, Bosley is the real deal. They're giving men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started on the hair gain train is a single phone call. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you call 1-800-686-5752. Check them out now. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Dude, this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert. Ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part, Bosley's solution is permanent. You're going to love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to make a call. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by calling 1-800-686-5752. Don't forget, that's 1-800-686-5752.
When we sold our home, we only wanted our real estate agent to do 2 things: sell our home fast and for the most money. Thankfully, we found HomeLight.
HomeLight rates all the agents in your neighborhood using actual performance data like transaction history and reviews. That's data on millions of agents you can't find anywhere else.
It took just a few minutes and it didn't cost us anything. We sold in just 2 days and for more than we ever thought we would.
Join the thousands of people who have found a great real estate agent by going to HomeLight.com.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal. He's a freaking nature.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018. Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
We know baseball is your thing, so get more all season long with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. That's more for your never miss a moment of the action thing. Your watch your favorite teams and players no matter where you live thing. And your live game streaming on your favorite devices with MLB.tv included thing. Because bringing you every milestone and miracle on the screen of your choice, that's our thing. Order MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
Tonight at 8, you can find out whether your team climbed or fell in Elliot Harrison's post-draft power rankings. A lot of changes. You're going to want to check this out. It's a 1-hour special edition breaking down all the movements of each and every NFL team. All right, let's talk biggest challengers in the AFC, biggest challengers in the NFC. Obviously, the Patriots, the reigning AFC champs. I almost don't even want to ask David this question because I have a feeling I know which team you're going to say the biggest challenger. You feel a little obligated.
Come on. Next, Jaguars. Jaguars can do it, right? They're built pretty good.
Yeah.
I think up front, I like what they've done on defense. Will, we have some experience with a good defensive front, right? Winning the Super Bowl. So I think that Tom Coughlin's trying to do the same thing down there. Blake Bortles he has to have some energy and life and excitement that they didn't try to replace the guy. You know, I mean, they love him down there. So that gives you some confidence he'll play better, I think, this year.
So you say Jags, Will. What do you say?
You know, I say Jags as well. I mean, once again, they revamped that D-line. They went and got Taven Bryan from the Florida Gators down there in Gainesville and just beef up that front. And right now they have everything in play to make it happen. Yep. They could have made it happen last year, but.
Some said maybe just a quarterback away. We'll see how Bortles does this year.
Didn't get the quarterback.
D-Hall, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. You know, when I think about a healthy Deshaun Watson and getting to see him for a full season, I think they're going to be really good. You know, you talk about Jacksonville defense is the reason you guys think they have a chance. This Houston Texans defense can rival that Jacksonville defense.
If healthy, right.
If healthy, absolutely. But they get some guys back. J.J. Watt's the biggest name.
Whitney Merciless comes back.
Yep, Whitney Merciless. You talk about Aaron Colvin coming over. To me, he's that A.J. Bouye type that a lot of people didn't know until he left Houston and went to Jacksonville. Aaron Colvin's leaving Jacksonville, going to Houston. Tyrann Mathieu, another guy who is a playmaker. And so I think this defense is poised to help them win a lot of games. And like I said, with Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, he's one of the best receivers in the game. I think they're gonna get them a run for their money.
You could make the argument that's the best division in football, maybe the best in the AFC easily. All right, who's challenging the Eagles in the NFC? David, Super Bowl champs now.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with the team that we haven't really talked a lot about. The quarterback was injured a little bit last year. The Green Bay Packers. I think you give Aaron Rodgers, who I think is the best quarterback in the game, you give him Jimmy Graham now, a guy that we're not worried about him blocking. We want him to match up on linebackers and beat him up. Let Devontae Adams and those guys on the outside, let's just throw the football around and let the best quarterback in the game go out and try and rip some people up. So they got to get some help on defense, got to play a little bit better. But I think that the Green Bay Packers are always in it if Aaron Rodgers is on the field.
And maybe Jimmy Graham is the newer version of what Jordy Nelson was for Brett.
Could be.
Or Jimmy Graham can be what he was in New Orleans with Drew Brees. That's what happens when you had, you know.
And Green Bay drafted some really good DBs, and so that was kind of an area of concern for Green Bay. So I like it.
Couple of corners.
I actually have the Minnesota Vikings. You know, you talk about a team who was right there.
They were.
And, you know, I didn't think Case Keenum was that great until he went out there and diced me up. And so the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And so they got rid of Case Keenum for Kirk Cousins, gave him a whole lot of money. Now let's see. The only thing he can do to be better than Case Keenum is get to a Super Bowl.
That's too easy. That's their defense. For me, the biggest challenge for the Eagles are the Eagles. Can you do it again? That is the question.
Themselves?
Yes.
Maybe a little Super Bowl hangover.
It's true. Can they do it again? They got their ring. Don't relax.
And the Eagles have always relished the opportunity or being the underdog. Now they're being chased by everybody.
Yes, they're the hunted. The underdogs no more. It is the intersection of metrics and mentality, numbers and nuance. It's the best way to evaluate every single side of an NFL prospect. After the break, the soul and science feature we never thought we could air until today.
New Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade. Are you ready to taste Nirvana?
Hey, honey! Do we want to taste Nirvana?
Yeah, sure.
How long have you been sitting in my yard?
Since Tuesday. Try new Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade.
Bridgestone Drive Guard tires are engineered to come through in the clutch. Let's go! And NFL coach John Gruden is going to help us prove it.
I got this. If you take a hit, you got to get back up.
Actually, Drive Guard tires can take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles to safety.
Guess my pep talk worked.
Hi, I'm the one clocking in when you're clocking out, sensing and automatically adjusting to your every move. Does your bed do that? I'm the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Let's meet at a Sleep Number store.
DiGiorno pizza bakes fresh in your own oven and travels straight to your table. Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to wrong houses. Nobody delivers a piping hot and crispy crust like a DiGiorno pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
I'm very proud of the fact that I serve as a C-130 mechanic in the Corps, so I'm not happy unless my hands are dirty. Between running a business and 4 kids, we're busy. Auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance policies, knowing that USAA will always have my back. That's just one less thing you have to worry about. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. They're like a friend of the family. We are the Cochran family, and we will be USAA members for life.
Save by bundling USAA home and auto insurance. Get a quote today.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same. But while some push high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some advisors have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management.
Energy is changing fast, and we're changing with it. Building a smarter grid, investing in new technologies, that's AEP's road to the future. And the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers help make that happen. The IBEW's outstanding union professionals have the skills and training to get the job done right. That's good for our customers and for our bottom line. IBEW members are our power professionals. They should be yours as well.
Good Morning Football, coming up next, live on NFL Network.
The Cowboys are trying to get to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1995. 1, 2, 3, what?
When you're on America's team,
There's a lot of distraction out there.
the spotlight is always on.
Got the eyes of the world on you.
Spend a season with the Dallas Cowboys
We don't make the playoffs. Some people might not have jobs.
as they tackle it all.
It's going to be a hell of a story.
All or nothing. The Dallas Cowboys. Using biomechanical data, we measured the movements of 12-year TV vet Rhett Lewis. In our first test, we learned that Rhett leaves the co-anchor chair.
All right, here we go.
With a launch angle of 55 degrees. That's more thrust from a seated position to a walking position.
I'm going to get myself out of this chair here.
Than any co-anchor we've measured this week.
There you go.
Next, we analyzed Rhett's ability to get from the desk to the pylon position.
The host of the show, DJ, is on the move, making a walk here from the desk.
With an average walk speed of 2.73 miles per hour.
I'm going to step right over that cable.
Rhett walks 17 steps, lands at his pylon position in just 5.31 seconds.
And we say hello again.
That's exactly 1 second faster than his 40-yard dash at his 2006 Indiana Pro Day. Despite his deficiencies, Rhett consistently displays a relentless pursuit to be average. For Soul and Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Rhett Lewis and D. Hall, almost the same 40 times.
Well,
a
6.31.
Give or take, you know.
That looked like my mile time right there.
Rhett Lewis, a great sport in that Soul and Science piece. He didn't really want to run a 6.31. It was closer to like a 5.31 when he was in Indiana.
Same.
Fun piece. Thank you to John Brinkus for doing that.
I'm a milli right there. Why not?
Welcome to Good Morning Football. We're live. It's New York City. It is Thursday. It is May 3rd. The draft is over, but we are still celebrating it because 32 teams are no longer the same. They're all different and all equally optimistic at having a shot at the Lombardi Trophy. My name's Kay Adams. This is Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, and we've got Nate Burleson alongside as well.
a little wave to the camera.
Hey.
First time on TV?
Hey. Little Sony Michelle.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
This is the Sony Michelle.
That's what it is? Jazz hands?
Jazz hands. Love it. You can tweet the show at #GMFE. We got to start with some news here in New York City. Time for the
Lead
Block. All right, let's kick it off right here in New York. The Jets were thrilled that quarterback Sam Darnold fell to them at the 3rd overall pick. Take a listen to GM Mike Maccagnan, who joined our very own Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen Show, discussing what the offseason will hold for their pick.
I think we're going to, as Todd said, we're going to, basically expose them to everything. We're going to give them the opportunity to go out there, earn the position. But of course, our focus is not necessarily to throw him into the fire until he's earned it. And but we're very excited about him and his upside and potential. And we have a lot of football to be played this spring and in training camp, and we'll see how it comes along. He's going to have every opportunity to go out there and hopefully fulfill all the potential we see in him.
So he has the opportunity to earn the job week 1. Basically, we're sitting here right now.
I would say nothing's been predetermined one way or the other, and Todd's going to make that decision after we go through this off season. And there's a chance for anything on the table. Nothing's been sort of set in stone in terms of how we're going to do this. But in terms of a firm time frame, but it's also going to be he's going to have every opportunity, and we'll see how it develops going forward.
He'll have every opportunity, and we'll see how it goes going forward. So the Jets, seems like they'll give Sam Darnold the chance to win the job. John Dorsey told us yesterday that Baker Mayfield could do the same. So as we look around at these first-round quarterbacks taken in this class, which is most likely to start in the NFL? I'm not even going to say week 1 because, in my opinion, none of them should start week 1. But who's going to start first, Kyle?
I think it's going to be Baker Mayfield, the number 1 pick. First of all, there's not a lot of pressure on the Browns to win this year. They didn't go 8-8 last year. They don't have to get in the playoffs. And number 1 picks start. Number 1 overall picks, they just start. 1, because they're the show pony, they're the franchise, and 2, because they're just that good. I looked into this, did a little bit of a deep dive on number 1 overall pick quarterbacks. 5 of the last 6 taken have started week 1. They start. And so you might think Tyrod Taylor's there. Who do these guys beat out? Who do these number 1 overall picks beat out? It's kind of a mixed bag. All right, Jameis beat out Mike Glennon. Sam Bradford beat out A.J. Feely. That was probably going to happen. Cam beat out Derek Anderson, a guy who's won double-digit games in this league. And then it gets interesting. Andrew Luck beat out Drew Stanton. Matt Stafford beat out Dante Culpepper and Drew Stanton. Baker Mayfield has to beat out Tyrod Taylor and Drew Stanton. So if Drew Stanton's in the room, you're basically going to start. That is my deep dive. But I don't think you take a number 1 overall to let him sit behind a middling quarterback like Tyrod Taylor. I think he'll be out there week 1.
Yeah, shout out to my guy, Drew Stanton.
Middling quarterback.
I'll say this, though. Tyrod Taylor has yet to be the guy to give his job away or even lose his job. One thing we do know about Tyrod is he's very consistent. Now, I love rookie quarterbacks playing because it's like a rookie NBA player showing out his first year in the league. But most of the time, these guys have a long learning curve, and it's going to be difficult. I don't care if you're number 1, number 10, or if you're the last pick in the first round. You got to learn in the offseason, then go into training camp, and then win it out in the preseason. I don't feel like Tyrod Taylor is going to hand that job over. So the guy that I feel like is going to start is going to be Josh Rosen. And I said this before, and actually I was looking at my comments and somebody said Nate needs to stop talking. And I don't know if they're an Arizona Cardinals fan, if they think that I'm taking a shot at Bradford and I'm wishing that he gets injured. What? Well, they feel like that me saying that Bradford is going to get banged up is a bad thing. And I'm just saying it's almost inevitability. If you look at the injuries and you look at his track record, that's the reason why I feel like Rosen is going to be a guy to get in there. Not because one of these QBs are going to hand this job over or even play terrible enough to get put on the bench, but I do feel like Rosen is going to be that guy because Bradford has been banged up throughout his career. He might even play a handful of games.
Yeah,
but then there's going to be
he's
something.
He's not going to be banged up in training camp, Nate. You're talking about who's going to start week 1. Who's going to be the guy?
I agree with Kay.
Who is the most game-ready quarterback going into this draft?
She changed the question, but there have been 20 quarterbacks in the last 10 years who have started week 1. So it's not this crazy oddity that one of these guys can
job. I just don't believe one of these guys is going to start week 1.
But Rosen's the first,
who's the
right?
most pro-ready quarterback in the draft?
I don't know who's most pro-ready. Rosen is the most pro-ready, I think, as far as this learning 3 different offenses in college and all that stuff. But I think the situation that's most ready for a guy to take it is the Jets. I do think Sam Darnold is the guy. The Jets have had Mark Sanchez start as a rookie week 1. They've had Geno Smith start as a rookie week 1. And this has all the makings of, hey, it's your job, dude. McCown and Bridgewater are here, but we're drafting you 3rd overall. You feel like you slipped to us. The situation is not like we're going to win right now. I feel like just put him in the mix. Of all these guys, there isn't that situation where, okay, I look at Baker and these guys, Hugh Jackson might be competing for a job right now. Tyrod might be the better opportunity for him. I look at the Jets right now, it's all right, we have our quarterback of the future. Let's get into it. Let's see what it is. He's going to have all summer to work with McCown. But I would be surprised. Look, last year, DeShone Kizer started week 1.
Yeah.
All right, the year before that, Prescott as a 4th-round pick. Wentz started week 1. Year before that was Carr. Year before that was E.J. Manuel and Geno Smith. Teams, it's a rarity that a team, with 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, that one of them will not start week 1. It's a good possibility.
So you think
that one
have 4 or 5 of them?
I don't think.
5,
I don't
3 or
know.
4.
I do think there will be one of them, and I think Darnold's the one who's got the best opportunity. And the fans want that. I think the Jets fans are like, we love Josh McCown, and we want to see him help Sam Darnold, but let's get going here. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. We've waited for years with Petty and Hackenberg on the bench.
You make a great point about Baker Mayfield and #1 picks and all of that, but I do think Tyrod's going to push him, and he's going to start and hold on to it for at least a little bit. I look at, the Browns traded for Tyrod Taylor. You look up at Buffalo. Buffalo, they got the last domino to fall in quarterback free agency in A.J. McCarron. They were not there trading for him. That was their last choice. Let's just call it what it is and be honest. So I think I look at it as who is the easiest path to get onto the field? Who can beat out A.J. McCarron and Nathan Peterman? It's Josh Allen. And it's wild to think because it's a little counterintuitive. He's the most raw talent.
Yeah.
He's the guy who probably should sit the most. He's the opposite of Josh Rosen, who learned 3 different offenses. I get it. But I feel like with that arm and that talent, seeing that in training camp, the receiving weapons, you really have Charles Clay, Kelvin Benjamin, can he stay healthy? They're going to want to get him out there and chuck the ball, even though they made the playoffs last year. And I'm sure it's important to get back there. They're in a similar situation as the Jets in that regard.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes.
Let's go. Like, what are we waiting for? You know, AJ, that to me.
I don't want it to happen, but I feel like they're going to put him out there week 1.
Matt Ryan started week 1. Flacco started week 1. Sanchez, Stafford, Cam,
Josh
Dalton.
Allen, the way he won us over at the Combine, he'll win over everybody.
He's going to have the wow factor.
Yeah.
We're not at recess saying, hey, guys, go out there and have fun until the bell rings. Rip the Band-Aid off. You go with the guy that's been in the league long enough, that understands systems, that can play consistently. You don't go with a raw talent.
I just think you go with who's better.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're telling me that Josh Allen's better than A.J. McCarron has already been in the league? Like, since when did we start dismissing the fact that these guys been in the league?
A 5th-round pick who couldn't get on the field in Cincinnati. Why wouldn't the number 7 overall pick be better?
He's been in the NFL.
That's okay.
Josh Allen is coming out of Wyoming.
You don't draft a quarterback if you have one. They don't have one, obviously.
It's not about that, but he's been in the league playing against top-tier talent. I don't care if it's at practice as a second stringer. I don't care if he's on practice squad. Josh Allen's coming from Wyoming, where he didn't dominate, and that's the lowest-tier talent compared to what he's about to face this summer. All I'm saying is go with consistency. Ripping the Band-Aid off is a panic move. You rip the Band-Aid off at the end of the season when your season's in the toilet. Right now, at least give yourself a fighting chance. The more that you play the starter that's supposed to be the starter right now, the longer the rookie has to learn.
If you are married to that, you get Tom Savage for a half, and the fans say, well, what the hell was that?
And you also get DeShone Kizer getting out there throwing too early.
DeShone Kizer is a 52nd overall pick. These guys are top 10 picks. Play the guys.
Peter, you know that top 10 picks are not always money. You know that.
We're going to put this
We're
up.
We're getting excited because they're top 10 picks.
We can talk about this all day. At
Pump the
GMFB,
brakes.
Ziplo back there running our social media. Let's put up a poll question.
All right, yeah, put it up,
Poll question on the, snap. The 4 quarterbacks that we said, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen. Who will start first in the NFL? All right, we just talked about Josh Rosen. You're saying he will start first. Check this out. Browns executive Alonzo Highsmith was quoted as saying, quote, there was something about him that bothered me. Josh responded to that, quote, on the Rich Eisen show yesterday.
I thought it was interesting he didn't talk to my girlfriend. Maybe he was scared of someone actually saying something good about me. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
So there would have been no red flags, right? I mean, what would her scouting report of you have been, Josh?
It's amazing that you can pull a red flag from something with literally zero information. Like, he literally pulled absolutely no information from his encounter, and it managed to be a red flag.
This is a wild story. I feel like this is just the beginning with the Josh Rosen experience in the NFL.
It's great because we now have a love child of draft stories and airport stories coming together. Alonzo Highsmith, the Browns executive, who I loved going back to the college days, runs into the UCLA women's volleyball team, approaches the coach. Do you know anything about Josh Rosen? The coach says, that's his girlfriend. Go ask her. And then he says, that's all I need to know. I mean, that is a weird story. Why don't we do a reenactment of it? All right, I'll be Alonzo Highsmith right now. Okay, you be the UCLA women's volleyball coach.
I'm over here like eating my peach O's.
This is how Alonzo Highsmith tells the stories. Hey, coach, how you doing? UCLA, right?
Yeah.
Alonzo Highsmith, Cleveland Browns.
Oh.
What can you tell me about this Josh Rosen guy?
Oh, that's his girlfriend over there. Go talk to her.
That's all I need to know.
What does that
That's it. Coach John Dorsey, yes, take Baker. I just had a very that's it. It's it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the flight.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that story.
So he didn't speak to the actual player. He spoke to the coach of the player who just said talk to the player.
He didn't speak to the girlfriend either.
Yeah, the player.
And then it's like, then you go up to the girlfriend, you're like, hey, young lady, tell me about your boyfriend. That's very weird. She's like, I'm eating my Alban Payne here. Leave me alone. What are you doing?
Can we reenact that? Do that again.
Hey, Coach, what can you tell me about Josh Rosen?
Well, I probably shouldn't say anything, but if you want to, really hear something good about him, talk to his girlfriend. What if it was like that? What if it was like a not a condescending, but just like a skirt? I don't want to talk about him, and he got a bad vibe. Like, why don't you want to express it? But
sure.
Now I'm into
it. Might have been,
now I'm too deep.
If I'm Josh Rosen and I'm hearing that, I'm like, what the hell is going on? He said also to Rich Eisen, he's like, I think people are forgetting they're getting a football player, like not someone to date their daughter. Right. What a weird story.
I don't mind
I know it gets weird at the airport, Schrager, but that's a strange one.
It gets weird at the airport. I've had several weird encounters at the Hudson News lately. I will say this. Rosen isn't the one saying this story. He's being asked about it by Eisen. So, I want to turn the page, but, what's he supposed to do? Say, he had a laugh about it. I liked how he handled that.
Oh, I did too. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Highsmith.
The story's bizarre, and yet I asked around the league leading up to the draft, and to a man, everyone told me the same thing. He's the fourth quarterback off the board. No. And I'm like, but he's really good, right? Oh, he throws the ball great. Not a franchise quarterback for us. So it's like, are we overthinking this? There's been a lot of interesting personalities at quarterback in the NFL. There still are.
The Cardinals love them.
Are we missing something? Is he really Jay Cutler minus 1,000 as far as how bad of a guy can he be that he was maybe the best thrower and couldn't?
That's very compelling.
How bad a dude is Josh Rosen?
Awful.
He must be a horrible guy.
What was your initial reaction to meeting him we had talked to him for like 5 minutes, even off camera.
Yeah, I loved him. I loved everything about him. I really did. There was something that he had, and I don't want to use the word swag or moxie.
What was it?
Dripping swag sauce. He reminded me of Aaron Rodgers. And it's not how tall he was or how he looked or how he carried himself, even the body language. It was the words he said and how confident he was, and he wasn't trying hard. That's what I do like about him. And I'll say this, and I said it before on the show. Think about your top 5 quarterbacks in the league. 4 out of the 5 will rub you the wrong way. 4 out of the 5, you'll find something about him you don't like. And now, oftentimes, we pick these young draft picks apart, and we'll try to find something. Sam Darnold, not so much. You know what? He's a safe guy, and he looks the part. He's going to play the role. You look at Baker Mayfield, I'm not feeling that dude. Josh Allen, I don't know what he is. Lamar Jackson, he could be a wide receiver. Right. Josh Rosen, this spoiled young punk out of UCLA, no. But I love everything about him. Now, I don't know how it's going to translate to the football field, but I feel like players in the locker room are going to love everything about him. I don't meet guys now and say, as an analyst, do I appreciate this young fella? The first thing I do is put my pads back on metaphorically, and I look at him and I say, would I follow this dude if he got in my huddle? And I would about Josh Rosen. I definitely follow that.
It's amazing, and we live in this archaic world of the NFL with a bunch of cavemen, that this guy is a fully evolved thinker. He has personalities, he has thoughts, and it was viewed as the biggest red flag, bigger than a guy getting arrested, bigger than a guy who didn't play at any...
There has to be a reason for that.
He's an evolved thinker, and he asks why, and that is the greatest threat to the NFL right now, which is an incredible statement about where these coaches are with quarterbacks.
Before the draft, I remember saying, I wish he would just zip it, because then maybe he'd go #1 overall. He slipped a little bit. Do you feel like if he had zipped it, he would have gone
if he had
instead
zipped it when
of
he was
Baker?
18 years old. We've just been hearing stuff for 4 years.
You nailed it. People say he's the best passer. Oh, he's the best passer. You're going to take him then? No. Why? It's complicated. It better be.
It better be real complicated.
Facebook status.
Go vote for our poll at GMFB right now. Coming up, we welcome in the GM that made Matthew Stafford one of the happiest men in the NFL. Ragnar, yeah, I'd say he should be pretty happy. Lions GM Bob Quinn is on the show next. And is Darius Geis a dark horse to win Rookie of the Year next season? We will share our dark horses because the Kentucky Derby's this weekend.
Yeah, the sickest.
Good Morning Football is brought to you by Honda. Great deals are waiting at your Honda dealer.
I am the new Summer Rules Blizzard menu only at DQ. I am 5 delicious flavors that will turn your inner tube inside out. Like the s'mores blizzard that laughs in the face of bedtime. Cotton candy that says no thanks to waiting 30 minutes before swimming. Summer berry cheesecake that inspires you to cut those jeans into jorts. I am the classics you've missed and new ones you didn't know you were missing. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
At the General, it's easy to get an online car insurance quote with your mobile phone.
Or on your tablet or computer in minutes. Just go to thegeneral.com. Monthly payments are low, and you can get immediate proof of insurance.
Get your anonymous online quote with low payments and ride with the General. Cut. General, selfie time. Smile, General.
Sure. For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Tonight on Path to the Draft, our experts do a full recap of this year's class with complete team-by-team breakdowns and draft grades.
That was one heck of a draft class.
Path to the Draft, the aftermath. Tonight at 6 on NFL Network.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, AFC South, one of the best divisions. Who had the best draft? Special guest Yannick Ngakoue can't be impartial. Power rankings guru Elliot Harrison has to be. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City talking about the rookie quarterbacks. Will Selva manning the news desk out in L.A. I don't know if it was the draft or what, but this table has never been quite as feisty as it has been this week.
I know. The chippiness, the tension. I love it.
We're going to drop some bows here in a second.
Come get some, Selva. You walk over and you look back.
Whoa, no, I'm staying away. I'm over here. Safe distance, 3,000 miles away. But keep the lively discussion going there in New York. In the meantime, we'll give you the news. And tight end Jason Witten is still mulling over whether to retire from the Cowboys or move to the broadcast booth for Monday Night Football or some other network. Witten reportedly approached about another TV gig as well. Now, if he takes the ESPN opportunity, he is said to earn between $4 and $4.5 million. As we await to hear if Witten will come back to Dallas for his 16th season, Executive Vice President Stephen Jones wants to strike the right balance between not pressuring him and letting him know he's wanted by the team.
We'd love to have him be a Cowboy because of what he brings to the table. We're a better football team with him, no question. But at the same time, in his mind, if it's his time to do something different in his career path, then we would 110 support that as well. So we just want to give him all the time he needs. He deserves it. He's a Hall of Fame player, both on and off the field, NFL Man of the Year, top 5 guys on one hand that we've ever had play for the Cowboys.
Well, Panthers tight end Greg Olsen interviewing for the Monday Night Football job Witten is up for. Olsen ending up signing a 2-year deal worth $17.1 million with Carolina. Olsen saying he's glad things worked out and will let Witten worry about his situation. Now, Olsen playing in the Wells Fargo Pro-Am with linebacker Luke Kuechly serving as his caddy right there on your right, schlepping his teammates' sticks around the course. Ryan Khalil was there too, apparently working in a security capacity. Kuechly was Olsen's caddy one other time as well. Said Olsen about Kuechly, "I've got the most expensive caddy in PGA Tour history on my bag, so I'm in good shape." It's also worth mentioning that Kuechly has shoulder surgery in February. He's okay out there carrying the bag, but he should be good to go for training camp if it's anything like his other shoulder when he had surgery before. But he's okay carrying the sticks. Yeah, right?
Will Selva, staying over there in the safe zone out in Culver City, doing the hard work.
Comfort.
We'll talk to you in just a little bit with more updates about what's going on around the league. Now, tomorrow, don't miss NFL Network's coverage of Rookie Camp. I cannot wait for this. You can follow the rookies on the field for the first time with their new clubs. It is NFL Rookie Camp, and it starts tomorrow. What a whirlwind.
Here we go.
For these young cats. Unbelievable. You can see it on NFL Network. It kicks off at 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, coming up, we welcome in the GM that made Matthew Stafford one of the happiest men in the NFL, and I think they're going to have a rushing attack this year like they haven't in years past. I cannot wait to talk to and congratulate Lions GM Bob Quinn on the show with us live.
People who probably outside looking in saying, I don't think he can get this job done. Make sure you stay tuned in. I got a surprise for you.
4-3-8. Shaquem Griffin is dominating.
The Seattle Seahawks select Shaquem Griffin.
Shaquem, you get to play with your brother again, okay?
Can't even breathe right now.
Yeah.
We do everything together. Now we can truly say that we made it to the next chapter of our life and we still together.
This is just flat out awesome.
We came here for the friends. And we got to know the friends of our friends. Then our old friends from middle school, our mom, our ex, and our boss joined forces to wish us happy birthday. Then we discovered our uncle used to play in a band and realized he was young once too. And we found others just like us. And just like that, we felt a little less alone. But then something happened. We had to deal with spam, clickbait, fake news, and data misuse. That's going to change. From now on, Facebook will do more to keep you safe and protect your privacy, so we can all get back to what made Facebook good in the first place. Friends. Because when this place does what it was built for, then we all get a little closer.
Insurance that won't replace the full value of your new car? You're better off throwing your money right into the harbor. Gonna regret that.
With new car replacement, if your brand new car gets totaled, Liberty Mutual will pay the entire value plus depreciation. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Applebee's new Bigger, Bolder Grill Combos. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Now walk it out. Walk it out. Now walk it out. Southern style DJ. Now walk it out. DJ Mike's on the track. Walk it out. Southside walk it out. Eastside walk it out. Northside walk it out. Now hit it. Do it how you do it. Go and walk it out. I said do it how you do it. Go and walk it out. Okay. Do it how you do it. Go and walk it out. I said do it how you do it. Go and walk it out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now 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 walk.
Are you done? Okay, let's go home.
Now walk it out. 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 Whoa, whoa. Now walk it out. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Experience the thrill of NFL Red Zone on NFL Network.
Stacked lineup of games today.
Every week, we'll replay a different Sunday afternoon of the 2017 season. NFL Red Zone replay, Sunday at 1 on NFL Network.
Good morning, football. Welcome back to our studio in New York City. We are here, no days off. Here on Good Morning Football, we love a good jersey, and we love a random good jersey. We're not talking about the Joe Montana jersey you bust out every fall at the Niners game. We're not talking about the Brady jersey you're wearing. We're talking about the Steve Bono 49ers jersey if you own one of those. We're talking about the Scott Setuels jersey if you're a Patriots fan. Okay, that's what we want to see. We want to see that. We want to see that Drew Bledsoe jersey on Rozier. We don't want to see the Brady jersey on Rozier. So let's go into the closet. Let's do out a segment that we haven't had in a while, one that we love called Not New Jersey. You guys, the viewers, you send us the best jerseys you've seen.
Here we go.
Wow. That's Mike Kafka on the Open Seas. Wow, from Shane. So Mike Kafka was a guy at a Northwestern, good, solid quarterback, was never elevated more than the third string in Philly. This guy has the jersey. That's
awesome.
First ballot.
Mike Kafka's a Chicago native to St. Rita High School, and he's doing the Jack Dawson pose there. That's a fantastic
Now,
photo.
are
That's
those
award-winning.
Stratus, Cumulus, what are those?
Cumulus, I think for
right?
sure.
Straight
Yes,
up.
exactly. Look at the beautiful clouds. Beautiful. That's the best picture we've ever seen, I think.
It's everything. It's everything we want in this segment. It's the fisherman hat, it's the clouds, it's the open sea, and it's Mike Kafka.
Kafka with 7 different teams in 4 years, mostly training camp.
I believe he's coaching somewhere right now.
He is.
Where is he now?
He's coaching Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks coach.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks
Mahomes.
coach. Pat Mahomes, meet Matt Kafka. Okay, wow. Drew Brees we've seen, but a Robert Meacham, 17 out of Tennessee, a first-round pick. Everything about this looks right. It feels like
right outside Jerry World, Peter.
Tell me all about this, Kyle. What are you seeing in this photo?
Well, I'm seeing the Giant helmets on the right, and I like that we have so many fans. I love the Giants fan on the left. And Kay, look at the baby in the background with the hair bow, not in the stroller, wants to be held, completely relatable. This picture is winning all across the board. Meacham works.
I love the dual jeans.
Me too. Me too.
Great look. Dad jeans are always a win in this situation.
Different versions of the Saints jersey with the gold rip.
Filling it.
Tremendous.
This is really good.
It's great. Tremendous. Who's next? What do we got?
2 for 2.
2 for 2. In the snow.
This is from Ross Tucker, Peter.
It's Ross Tucker, all right.
7-year NFL veteran, former friend of the show, Mike Howard's roommate.
That's Ross?
Is that Leon
I don't think it's him. GMFB saw an epic not New Jersey in the Poconos. We got a Leon Washington carving the POW up in the Poconos on a snowboard. That's a winner.
This guy's like, I'm going snowboarding.
Yes.
Where's my Leon Washington jersey?
He gets up in the morning. I need my lift ticket, my boost, my ski poles. Oh, wait, my Leon Washington jersey. Can't hit the slopes without
He's
it.
like, take a picture. Wait, strike a pose. Really sassy. Hands on hips. I like it.
I love that jersey. What's the next one? The next random jersey we've had
That
sent to
one's
us.
awesome.
Keep on sending us
I want to have a
random jerseys.
rejection. These are all too good. First ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
First ballot Hall of
it
Fame.
really?
Potentially the GOAT, not New Jersey.
Wow, this guy bought it.
Adrian Peterson was on the Saints for a month. Something
Yes,
like that.
3 games.
One of the greatest running backs in the history of the sport, and he was on the Saints for 3 games. This is first ballot. Forget the 5-year waiting period, first ballot.
Listen, we love Adrian Peterson. Monster, one of the best of all time.
It's a legend.
But on this show, because we did the Not New Jersey, we called it as soon as he signed. I remember him signing and us saying, Hall of Fame, not New Jersey, because for some reason we kind of had the feeling it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah,
Isn't he still living in like Larry Fitzgerald's guest house?
Probably.
Somewhere. I haven't heard anything about Adrian Peterson in a long time.
Let me take off my Franco Harris Seahawks jersey and retire that one and put on the Peterson Saints jersey.
Shout out to AD.
AD, yeah, we love you. In his 3rd year as general manager of the Lions, Bob Quinn has a new interior lineman up front, a new running back, and a new head coach. Lots of optimism both at this table and in NFL circles about the Detroit Lions. Let's welcome in, for the first time on our show, Executive VP and General Manager, Mr. Bob Quinn.
All right.
Bob, what's up?
Okay.
Hey, Nate. Hey, you did an awesome job introducing our picks, so I think I'm going to sign you up for the next, say, 10 years.
Hey, I got you, man. Whatever you need. You know it's line.
We're going to get into that quite a bit, but we're going to ask you about that one. But that's a nice deal.
Yeah. 10 years is about how long it'll take, too.
All right, Bob. First round, Lions are on the clock. First pick of the Matt Patricia era. You guys are excited. 20th overall, and you take a guard/center named Frank Ragnow. Bob, tell us about Frank and why he was worthy of that 20th overall selection.
Yeah, Frank was a guy that we started evaluating, I'd say, 2 years ago. He was a guy that was thinking about coming out in the draft last year, so we had him higher on our board. Last year, he decided to stay in school, and he came back this year, had a great senior season before he got injured, and really checked every box throughout the process. So real easy pick for us at number 20.
Now, you already talked about Nate's speech, but we have to show it to you. So before we get to that 2nd round pick after Ragnow, the guy that's Ragnow's really going to help out this year, let's set up the scene and build up to that 2nd round pick. The Lions trade up. You're on the clock. You guys send it in, and this happens.
From the University of Nevada, wide receiver, Nate Burleson.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, boy.
There we go.
Yeah!
Good evening, football.
Got to make sure I got the right card. Don't want to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Now listen, all jokes aside, they say that Dallas is the home of America's team.
Oh, boy.
That's called a setup.
Hold on.
By the way, Beverly Hills Cop did come from Detroit, right?
Axel Foley. Well, if that's the case, Detroit is the home of America's heartbeat.
So, we've discussed it here.
That was awesome.
We saw it
That
live.
was just awesome.
Yeah, Twitter had it say, what did you think when this was actually happening? What were you guys out there in Detroit thinking when Nate announced that pick?
Yeah, so, we actually had talked to Frank already. We already passed the phone around the room to the different people that talked to Frank, our second round pick. And then, we put the TV on, turned the volume up, and then, Nate walked out on the stage, and it was awesome. The whole room was clapping, yelling. The Ford family was there. It was an awesome experience.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I carry my love for the Detroit Lions in the state of Michigan on my sleeve. So shout out to you. And anytime I can do anything to help an organization, don't hesitate to reach out. But let's talk about that pick itself. I'll forever be linked to Kerryon Johnson. How's he going to complement that running back room? Because that's all everybody talks about, right? We know that Matt Stafford is going to be a monster. The passing game is going to be incredible. But Amir Abdul, LeGarrette Blount, Theo Riddick, all these different individuals, how's he going to complement?
Yeah, Kerryon is a good-sized back. We classified him as a slashing style runner that can do a lot in the running game. Really underutilized in the passing game, we thought. So we think he has great upside there as well. I think he's going to be a great complement to the guys that we have in the room. With LG, with Theo, Amir. So we have a lot of guys in that room right now that have produced in the NFL, and to add Kerryon to the mix, we feel really good about the running back group we have in Detroit.
Bob, we got to talk about this new coach of yours. We are so fired up. He's something. We have never heard a word out of Matt Patricia in New England. Now he's the head man in Detroit. He's affable. He's eloquent. His look is good as hell. We love it. You go back with Matt Patricia. How did you know he was the guy, and just how strong are your roots connected to him?
Yeah, Matt and I worked together for, over 10 years in New England. So there was a lot of time spent together, whether evaluating players, evaluating our own team, just talking about philosophies. We went through a couple of years, I'd say in the late 2000s, where Matt and I spent time on the road together evaluating college prospects. So there's a lot of long drives, a lot of hotel stays, a lot of dinners out. So we had a lot of time to bond as friends and as professionals. So, when I made the coaching change in January, Matt was at the top of my list, and I think I was very fortunate to bring him to Detroit because the last couple of months has been great. It's been he's been awesome in the building. The players are responding to him, and we have great feel for how we're going to do next season.
We love the hire. And between you and Matt and LeGarrette Blount and countless others on your roster in the front office, the coaching staff, there is a bit of a New England influence up there in Detroit right now. So when you were working for Coach Belichick for all those years, can you tell the audience what's the one lesson you took from him, and how do you want to impart that on your team now in Detroit?
Yeah, I'd say that, Coach Belichick obviously had a big influence on everyone that worked there over the years. And I'd say that, every job that you have in the building, whether you're the, equipment manager, you're the head scout, you're the position coach, if you just do your job to the best of your ability, everything in the organization gets better. So that's what I'm trying to preach to my scouts and my personnel department. And I know Matt's preaching the same thing to his coaching department. So, if we just take our jobs really seriously, do the best at our jobs every day, we're going to make this team better.
Well, the Lions have a big job to do this season because here's the looming question. The Packers get Aaron Rodgers back. The Vikings are loaded. They get Kirk Cousins. The Bears added an army on offense and have a new head coach. Why should Lions fans feel confident that this team is up for the task in 2018?
Yeah, I feel real good about, our offseason additions, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft, the coaching staff. And I think, we were 9-7 the last 2 years, and I think, the team has improved personnel-wise from then. So, we're looking for bigger and greater things this year and years to come. With having Ziggy back healthy, that's going to be a big thing, and coming back with our wide receiver core, as you guys are seeing on the screen there, I think our passing offense is going to be just as good as last year, if not better. And, you know, with the additions in the running game and our offensive line, I think our offensive output will be even greater than last year.
Yeah, that run game certainly will help Matthew Stafford out. Last one for us, Bob. We love Matt Patricia. We also love the touchdown celebrations that your guys executed on the field. Please tell me, you guys had Boogie Down Brown in there helping you guys out around Thanksgiving. Please tell me that this New England influence that we're talking about in Detroit is not going to strip the Lions and us of those amazing touchdown celebrations. Bob, don't do it to me.
No, when Boogie Down Brown came out here last, I think it was November, I told him he had an open pass anytime he wanted to come back. So hopefully we get him back here during training camp and we can get our new guys, up to speed with the guys from last year. We can have some good celebrations. Hopefully we're in the end zone a lot, so you guys will see a lot more of it.
Good, I like that.
Training camp. Boogie Down's coming. I like it.
I want it. More Keegan-Michael Key. Thank you. And Bob Quinn, thank you for joining the show. We loved it. It was your first time here with us. We hope you come on another time. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Nice job, Nate.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Bob. Talk to you later, buddy.
He just inked you to a 10-year deal, bro.
That's what it's about. You got to do it for the love of the city. Shout out to Detroit. What up, though?
I just love that the GMs come on our show.
It's great. Yeah. We're blanketing the league. We've had
amazing.
We got to get Belichick at some point to get all 32. It's going to be a tough get. We've got a lot of them.
We're having all his proteges. All those guys are coming on. Jason Light, John Robinson, Bob Quinn, Dimitroff. They all worked under Belichick. The Holy Grail is Bill himself, the hooded one. Join us on the show.
Right here at this table, Bill.
So Josh Allen was the third quarterback taken in this year's draft. Is there any way he becomes the Rookie of the Year? We'll tell you who our dark horses are after this.
I can't believe they charged me this much. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Go to CashNetUSA.com now. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow.
Thanks. Who are you?
I'm CashNetUSA.com. Man.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
I contacted Homeline because I needed a real estate agent to sell my 90-year-old father's house. Within an hour, I had already interviewed 2 amazing agents. I couldn't believe the amount of information that I got on each one. Detailed stats, background, ratings, reviews. You can't find that anywhere else. We went with the agent who best met our needs. In just 2 days, we got 2 offers, and we sold the house a few weeks later. We will definitely use Homeline next time we need to find a great real estate agent.
Find a great real estate agent. Call Homeline today.
Red Robin is the place to drop in for some yum, to celebrate cravings, to bond over burgers and bacon. And there's no such thing as the last fry. So come burger at our place, or get your Red Robin to go. Try one of 5 Tavern Double Burgers for only $6.99 each, anytime. And of course, they're always served with bottomless steak fries. Let's burger.
Red Robin. Yum.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Search with all-new speed. Shop with all-new control. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor on Auto Trader, so you'll know the price is fair. Supercharge your search and find your next car faster than ever. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of products. Everyone loves Flex Seal, the easy way to coat, seal, and stop leaks fast. Just a quick shot fills cracks and holes, stopping the toughest leaks. It's actually liquid rubber in a can. And with Flex Seal Liquid, you can brush, roll, dip, or pour for a watertight seal. Flex Seal Liquid starts out thick and turns into a super strong, flexible rubber. And with Flex Shot, you can caulk, bond, and seal virtually anything. Push the trigger to make quick repairs. Perfect for kitchens and baths. And Flex Tape is the super strong waterproof tape that can instantly patch, bond, seal, and repair.
Flex Tape's triple thick adhesive is so strong, it even works underwater.
Imagine everything you could do with Flex Seal. Flex Seal Liquid, Flex Shot, and Flex Tape.
NFL Total Access, the only live nightly show dedicated to the NFL.
with the best off-season coverage of all 32 teams,
Rosters are changing dramatically,
including interviews.
We're blessed to have lived that moment.
And expert analysis.
I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
From free agency to the draft.
You play good, they pay good.
Everything NFL.
Let's get it!
Every day.
For the touchdown!
NFL Total Access. Tonight at 7, live on NFL Network.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City. We will pick our dark horse sort of sleepers out of the rookie class that could win Rookie of the Year. That's coming up in just a little bit. Will Selva has an update for us on what's going on around the league.
No, okay, I just want to know which rookie quarterback is going to start for sure. I have to know. Can we do a deep dive on this?
Not a deep dive, but I do believe we have a poll question. I will update those results after your report.
Right. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate that. Well done. A tease, as we like to call it in the business. The deadline to pick up a player's fifth-year option came and went on Wednesday. If you're a player and didn't get your option picked up by then, in all likelihood, it wasn't going to happen. That said, NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Jaguars will decline the 2019 option of pass rusher Dante Fowler Jr. The fifth year would have cost Jacksonville $14.2 million. According to Mike, the team believes Fowler is an ascending player and hope to hammer out a long-term deal before free agency. Staying on the topic of pass rushers, the Broncos have enough of them now. NFL Network's James Palmer reporting the team is not expected to pick up the fifth-year option on linebacker Shane Ray. Ray was the odd man out with the selection of Bradley Chubb in the draft. Ray battling a wrist injury, severely hampering his production, recording just one takedown. Now, Ray is out, but Case Keenum is in. Chubb's selection solidifying Keenum's standing as the unquestioned starter in Denver. Denver struggling to find a replacement for Peyton Manning, but now they have their guy. Wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, for one, doesn't miss getting peppered with questions about it.
I appreciate it, for sure. I think this is the first time in, 2 or 3 years that I'm not standing up here and we're talking about a quarterback debate. You know, I remember when I got out here, I went off in the team store and I saw Case Keenum jersey. I was like, thank God we don't have to deal with that again. Case is our guy. We can go from there and we can work our butts off and just try to gain chemistry and try to put up points.
All right, that's a good feeling for Emmanuel Sanders there. He estimates that Keenum has completed somewhere between 95 and 98% of his passes that he's thrown so far in workouts.
I love that chemistry is going to be everything for this offense. He's new. They drafted Deshaun Hamilton. They drafted Fumagalli. They have Cortland Sutton. There are a lot of new receivers that are going to learn so much from the 2 Pro Bowl guys. One of them we just heard from in Emmanuel Sanders. Will Selva, I'll have you know the poll just went up, and the first vote is for Josh Allen. And
was it from
nice. Excellent. So go vote. Will, you vote?
Go vote right now.
Everybody vote.
Okay.
We'll see how this ends after the show. Now you can, we'll talk to you later. Experience the thrill of NFL Red Zone on NFL Network. Every touchdown from every game. Rain, look at that rain, or shine, or snow if you're LaShawn McCoy. You can relive all the excitement from the 2017 season. It is NFL Red Zone Replay, and it starts Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Get your NFL Football Sunday fix. And you can only do that on NFL Network. All right, Josh Allen, I put in my vote for him, right?
Yeah, it's tight so far, Kay.
Third quarterback taken in the draft. Could he become the Rookie of the Year? We will tell you our dark horse Rookie of the Years after this. Go vote.
Already hundreds of votes.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877-CASH-NOW.
Get a reloadable J.G. Wentworth Visa Reward Card with $100 to start just for receiving a quote on the sale of your future structured settlement or annuity payments. Call now.
877-CASH-NOW.
Offer subject to certain underwriting and transactional requirements. Call the number provided or visit 877cashnow.com/100.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. For decades, it's tormented the people of this town. They try to fill it, but it always returns. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you, too.
Yeah? You hear that? You ain't nothing!
Are you trash talking a pothole?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Running a business means I can't waste time.
especially when I'm hiring. I used to pore over resumes, but now I post my jobs on Indeed. Their screener questions help me get to my shortlist, people with the qualifications I need, like 5 years experience. All saving me time that I get to put back into running my business. Hiring's better when you've got your shortlist. Learn how screener questions can save you time when you post your job on Indeed.
Let's walk.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now here we go. Now walk it out. 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 Now west side walk it out. South side walk it out. East side walk it out. North side walk it out. Walk it out.
Are you done? Okay, let's go home.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
Find the perfect walker for your dog. Rover.com, the dog people.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal. He's a freak of nature.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018. Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
I am the new Summer Rules Blizzard menu only at DQ. I am 5 delicious flavors that will turn your inner tube inside out. Like the s'mores blizzard that laughs in the face of bedtime. Cotton candy that says no thanks to waiting 30 minutes before swimming. Summer berry cheesecake that inspires you to cut those jeans into jorts. I am the classics you've missed and new ones you didn't know you were missing. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
I was addicted to heroin and crack.
My choice was alcohol.
I used anything that I could get my hands on.
You know me. I'm the Addiction Network. Over 1.5 million people have called for help. So why haven't you called? What are you waiting for? The Addiction Network is here to take your call 24 hours a day.
I lost everything, and the only way to get my life back was to pick up the phone and call and go to treatment.
Call 800-593-5012.
I'd like to alert you to a special hour of television coming up next week called NFL Total Access QB18. Because between free agency and the draft, this is an offseason dominated by quarterback movement. And I ain't talking in the pocket. On the show, a dream team of experts. Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, former dual threat Michael Robinson, college quarterback and NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah, and former UCLA coach and Rosen whisperer Jim Mora. From Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith to Tyrod Taylor holding down the fort for Baker Mayfield, from veterans in a new town to rookies offering a new hope, it is the most important person on the field. It's the most important personnel decision to get right. So who did? That's NFL Total Access. QB18, Tuesday, May 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
There's no problem.
Great stuff from Lindsay there. Keep it here on NFL Network all day long for all the coverage you need as you're excited to root for your team this season. So the NFL Draft in the books, but this weekend there's another thing going on. Not really NFL-y because Gronkowski isn't racing, but the Kentucky Derby is this Saturday?
Yeah. Hats!
Do we have any good hats, red carpet, juleps? What are the fun names?
And we should
That's all I care about.
Tomorrow. That's what we should do. Then I'm looking at the favorite. It's a football name. Audible at 5-1.
I like that
Then you
name.
have Bolts de Oro. You have My Boy Jack, Vino Rosso, Instilled Regard, Promises Fulfilled, all across the board.
Who's
guys.
Victor Espinoza ride? Who's he got?
Oh, on Free Drop Billy maybe? Ferenz
Okay.
Fire? I don't know. But
I know
whoever
Victor- I like
Espinoza's
the
mount,
jockeys.
that guy can run.
Have you ever been to the Kentucky Derby?
No.
I feel like that's something you should do.
I'm going to my kids' auction, elementary, and that's the thing, Kentucky Derby. I don't know what
Is
to
that
wear.
right?
What do I wear? What I don't understand.
You wear a jockey outfit with silks.
For you, you
you're
got
the
to tone it down a
fashionable
notch.
one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
You
wear
can't ask us. You're the fashionable one.
Yeah, but I mean.
No, seersucker is what you want. I'm not kidding. Ask Mitchell and
Kentucky
Nesta because it's
Derby?
seersucker. Yes, that's the thing.
Don't act like
We don't really do
Peter,
that.
name one other jockey. Name one other
city.
jockey.
John Velasquez.
Ah, okay.
Have you
So
been?
the Kentucky Derby
Toby
got
McGuire.
us to thinking about dark horse rookie candidates. Get it? Making the connection?
Yeah,
Nate, who
sure.
do you think's a dark horse rookie candidate?
I'm going with twice as nice Darius Geis.
Oh,
with
out of the gate.
Washington.
Twice as nice sounds like a horse.
The running back, and there it is. That's twice as nice. Mr. Geis and that big old smile, and that's the smile we've seen him have on his face ever since this process has started. And listen, I'm not going to talk about what he was like when we met him because that doesn't matter once you get on the field. But I know that when he gets on the field, what he said here at the table is what I'm always going to pay attention to. He said, I'm going to smile and run people over while I'm doing it. Now, you look at the Washington Redskins. Rushing yards per game, 90. That's 28th. Yards per carry, 3.61. That's 30th in the league. So obviously they're going to need a boost. Now they do have Rob Kelly. They do have Chris Army Knife Thompson. They're going to have an extra player. And I'm not going to say he's going to get all of the looks, but what I do love about him being within this offense is the quarterback. Now look at Alex Smith and throughout his career and what he's been able to do. Frank Gore, monster when he played Frank Gore. Jamal Charles, monster years. And of course, last year, Kareem Hunt. You look at Alex Smith, throughout his career, he's had more 1,000-yard rushing running backs than he's had 1,000-yard receivers. So, you know, we love the fact that they got Paul Richardson and the wide receivers that are going to complement him, the tight end play, but it's going to be about the running backs. And as much as he can dip the ball downfield, the way he's able to give these running backs an opportunity to make plays, that's what's going to give him the ability to be one of the best in the business. So I'm going with the dark horse, Rookie of the Year, Darius Geis.
I think one of the biggest values there at 59 to the Redskins. So I'm in that, what was it, one of the horses' names, the football one?
Audible, 5-1.
I'm going to do one of those right now.
Okay.
Because we had Bob Quinn on the show.
Yeah.
And he has convinced me of who my dark horse Rookie of the Year candidate is. So the Lions take Ragnow in the first round, right? Starter at center, maybe left guard. Played at a high level in the SEC. They take him in the first round, and I'm like, that's amazing. And I want to see what they do when they trade up to take my dark horse rookie candidate with the 43rd pick in Kerryon Johnson. Ragnow's going to help this kid out, and they're both going to help Matthew Stafford out, the running back out of Auburn. So they trade up, and, you know, I think he maybe fell even a little bit because he had some injuries, some surgeries even.
That's good, though, right?
They take him, though, over Geis, which is going to be, that's going to be a test, a litmus test all year. Who's doing better than Geis, who's not doing better than Geis. He was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Super fast, breaks tackles, super patient runner. I see a lot of comparisons to Le'Veon Bell in the way that he runs, which is amazing, sort of runs upright. So he's bigger than Theo Riddick. I know he's there, but he's 6 feet tall, Kerryon is. That's awesome. And he's also faster than Garrett Blount. He's only 20 years old. I think even though he'll be a compliment, he will be a standout because they have the short yardage guy, the guy at the goal line in LeGarrette Blount, and they have the guy on passing downs in Theo Riddick. But with a team that was dead last in rushing yards per game last season, and Reggie Bush, the last guy to have an 100-yard game, I think he does that feat. I think he's quick, get him into space, and it will be Kerryon Johnson that finally gets 100 yards.
Let's do it, right? We're so over it.
My Rookie of the Year.
They open at home against the Jets. It should happen. And by the way, it's at primetime ESPN. That's when it should happen.
And I loved hearing Bob Quinn say, because he caught the ball a little bit in college, didn't do it a ton. I think I really respected him saying it's maybe an underrated aspect of his game. And he called him a slashing style runner. I wrote it down. I was like, okay,
perfect.
Bob Quinn.
Like it.
Peter, do you have a long shot?
I do.
How about combatant at 100-1? You got somebody at 100-1.
Mine might be bigger than that. So let's just preface this by this. Last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year was Alvin Kamara, who was a third-round pick. And Kareem Hunt led the NFL in rushing as a third-round pick. So these are not that crazy. Kerryon Johnson was picked before both those guys, and Darius Geis was too.
And not to mention, these guys came into the season not being the number one, fighting with the guy who was already starting.
Are you picking a running back too?
So yes, using history and with the Jordan Howard and the Zeke Elliott's, I'm going to also go with a running back. Mine is a 4th-round pick, the 12th running back off the board. My dark horse Rookie of the Year candidate is Dolphins rookie running back Kalen Ballage.
Look at those gentlemen.
Look at that. That is a gentleman at Churchill Downs.
All right, tell us about it.
All right, let me tell you about Kalen Ballage here. 6-foot guy, all right, 220 pounds, catches the ball out of the backfield. And really what it is, he fits Adam Gates' scheme. I'm looking at what he does. I watched him at Arizona State for years. He always split carries back there. But he's a guy who can come in right away and make a difference. And you look at their running back room. It's Drake. It's Frank Gore.
I'm liking it.
And there's room for this guy, Kalen Ballage. Look, Eric Studesville is the running backs coach over there, one of the best running backs coaches in the league. And I know that the Dolphins did their due diligence on Ballage. They went deep on this. They could have taken a running back in any of those early rounds. Instead, they went with Minka. They went with Mike Gesicki. And they said, Kalen Ballage is sitting there. We're going to get. Now, here's the little, this is the hack in it all. All right, here's the hack.
What's the hack?
Their quarterback, their punter, Matt Hack. All right, you never heard of this guy. Matt Hack, college teammate of Kalen Ballage at Arizona State. Before they drafted Kalen Ballage, they went to Matt Hack, their punter on the Dolphins, and said, what do you know about this guy? Tell us about him. He raved about him, said, you got to take him.
What did Hack say?
The punter making an impact here.
It's good.
Kalen Ballage, 4th round, 12th running back off the board. Very similar measurables to Ronnie Brown when he came out of Auburn. I know Ronnie Brown was a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all in on Kalen Ballage. Let's put him out there in the earth.
Kalen Ballage by way of the punter.
Yes.
Peter, you're the best.
Matt Hack. It's a punter hack.
It is. They hacked the system.
You think I'm not filing it away in my sleeper,
You have to, because you know it's going to be right.
I know
Put it in there.
I know what Trey's is all about. Yeah.
I don't have a long shot. I have more somebody like Good Magic who comes in at 9-1. I'm going to go with the quarterback, too, and I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
Wow, I love it.
Let me tell you why. Let's address this. Oh, look at it. He already won. He's got the flowers and everything.
Louisville guy. It makes sense.
Perfect. Let's address how Lamar Jackson can get on the field. And I mean at quarterback, the guy who's starting the whole game, the whole rest of the season. Can we all agree that this is a no BS year for the Baltimore Ravens? And in fact, last year was a no BS year. You cannot go 4 years without making playoffs. Joe Flacco has not performed well. Can we entertain a scenario, and I hope Baltimore wins all their games, but can we entertain a scenario by which, let's say the Ravens start 0-2. Let's say the Ravens start 1-3, and Joe Flacco is not playing well. I think you make a move. I do. You took a first-round pick on this guy. They have the Bills, and they at the Bengals on Thursday night. If they go 0-2 with a long week coming up, I think Lamar Jackson should start week 3. What are you going to do? You're going to keep running Flacco out there for 4 years in a row. You're going to go 7-9. You're going to get fired. The whole thing's going to be over. I think you drafted him in the first round. If he is that good and that talented, and if the season doesn't start well, I think you got to go to him.
Remember who had his rookie debut at the Bengals on a Thursday night last year?
Deshaun Watson. Listen, Lamar Jackson was drafted to make a difference. Now, if Flacco doesn't play well, got to pull the trigger.
You're saying that's facts, but it's not like you want him starting week 1, because you're also saying that you like when rookies sit. So it's because...
It's because he's talking about the hot seat.
Got it.
The hot seat. A lot of these other rookies are behind.
Give Flacco a chance.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Love it. All right, great. That's amazing stuff. We have a poll question up at GMFB. Go vote for the rookie quarterback you think is going to start first. All right, coming up, rookie minicamps do begin tomorrow. You can check it out right here on NFL Network. We cannot wait. Which quarterback will have the coaches in absolute awe? I don't know. Josh Allen's big. What's that after this?
I remember the day you asked, "What now, Dad?" So I said, find a job, any job, work hard. That's just how it is. But of course, you didn't listen. You showed me there's another way. I'm proud of you.
Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange. They're brewed with real lime and orange peels. You can taste the citrusy goodness. Well, you can't, but I just did. It was delicious. New for summer, Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange. Brewed with real citrus peels.
Shrimp fans, this one's for you. It's Red Lobster's new Create Your Own Shrimp Trios. Pick 3 of 9 craveable creations for just $15.99. You can enjoy the classics you love, along with new creations like savory crab top shrimp, decadent Parmesan truffle shrimp scampi, and creamy shrimp and lobster pasta. Your perfect shrimp plate is just waiting to be discovered, but Shrimp Trios won't last, so get to Red Lobster today. And get your Red Lobster fix with our weekday lunch starting at $7.99.
Introducing new Post-it Extreme Notes. They stick in tough conditions, so you can get it set and get just about any job done. Water resistant with Durahold paper and adhesive. New Post-it Extreme Notes. They're tailored for tough.
I am the new Summer Rules Blizzard menu only at DQ. I am 5 delicious flavors that will turn your inner tube inside out. Like the s'mores blizzard that laughs in the face of bedtime. Cotton candy that says no thanks to waiting 30 minutes before swimming. Summer berry cheesecake that inspires you to cut those jeans into jorts. I am the classic you've missed and new ones you didn't know you were missing. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
Getting an online car insurance quote from my buddy, the General, is a slam dunk. All it takes is a couple of minutes. The monthly payments are low, and you can get immediate proof of insurance. Get your anonymous online quote with low payments and ride with the General.
Hey, Shaq, how about some help up here?
Nope, I'm retired.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, AFC South, one of the best divisions, who had the best draft. Special guest Yannick Ngakoue can't be impartial. Power Rankings guru Elliot Harrison has to be. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
The ultimate lockdown defender.
He was a game breaker.
Who cemented his Hall of Fame legacy where it all began.
Just watch his every move because it's walking greatness.
Charles Woodson of Football Life, tomorrow at 9, only on NFL Network.
Impressive, really.
It is.
Welcome to Good Morning Football. We're live in New York City. Happy Thursday. It's May 3rd. I'm Kay Adams along with Nate Bose and Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, and it looks like we've got Sam Darnold at the table.
All the fellas.
All the boys.
And they all got scruff, too. None of these guys cleaned up for it except for Josh Allen, who I'm not sure even has to shave yet. Look at that, though. Somebody get these guys some Dollar Shave. Let's go. Shave butter.
You didn't.
Come on.
You're such a clown.
Look at me, cleaning the baby's bottom.
You showed up scruffy to the draft.
I know. I was being a cowboy. None of these guys went to the Cowboys.
You're done talking. Time for the Lead Block.
Lead Block.
Rook minicamp start tomorrow. You can see all the coverage that you need, that you want, that you're craving right here on NFL Network, both this weekend and next. So let's focus on those 5 first-round quarterbacks attending those camps with a game of Name That QB. All right, name the quarterback who has the most to prove throughout rookie camp, which is tomorrow and next weekend. And/or.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to go Josh Allen. And, you know, I think, Kyle, you picked up the same one. I don't know if you're still going to go with it. But I'll say for reasons off the field. We know he has a big arm, and listen, he might have the most potential. And I'm not going to beat, you know, the same narrative that happened during the draft. But, you know, those old tweets that were unearthed, he's walking into a locker room where we all know the league is majority African American. So majority of the teammates are going to be guys. Some might say, oh, I get it, man. I mean, some of my white friends threw out the same tweets, and those are my boys. And other guys might say, yo, what's up? Like, I know you're from Wyoming. Let me know a little bit more about you. And how do you handle that relationship? Not how do you handle it, but also how do you develop that relationship? Because this is family, right? So if I disrespect Schrags in any way, I'm going to be working with you for a long time. I want to get to know you so you can get to know me and know the real me, and we can have a productive relationship moving forward. That way this show is better. Same thing with the quarterback and his team. He got to get to know these guys, and they got to trust him. He has to trust them. So that's what I think. Just proving himself to his teammates. Because if you're the next leader of an organization, a franchise quarterback, you can't just be cool with half the locker room. You got to be good with everybody.
Great point.
It's a great point. It's a good take. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield from the football standpoint of it. He was the first overall pick in the NFL draft. He's walking into that building as the savior. He's walking into that city as the savior. And, yeah, I don't think that's an exaggeration. They have passed on taking quarterbacks the past 2 drafts, and those quarterbacks have netted out Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott. Last year, we've had a wave of these guys, whether it be Trubisky, Mahomes, and, of course, Deshaun Watson. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the final pick to finally take that draft. This is the guy. So it's not just one draft's worth of quarterbacks that they chose him over. It's not just these guys. They chose him over other draft classes. What do you got? Are you worthy of the first overall pick? And how can you help our city?
It's a great answer. The first guy picked, I'll go completely counterintuitive. I'll go with just the last guy picked. Lamar Jackson sitting here and saying, did you see what the hell I've done in this game, in this sport? Have you seen what I have done? I am by far the most talented athlete of all these guys, and I went last. You see me beat out Deshaun Watson for the Heisman 2 years ago? I run, I kick, I do everything, and I still was the last guy here, and now you can put me behind Joe Flacco. Let me put on a show for you right now. Sit back and watch. Lamar Jackson.
That's happening at rookie minicamp, though?
It's second the answers there.
To me, it's this one. And it's going to be this one for rookie minicamp and OTAs and all of it, because I think it's really important for Josh Rosen, who I feel like the entire draft process, when Baker Mayfield confidently ran a clinic and a great campaign, as you said, he tried to win people over, and it didn't really work for him. So I think it's really important for Josh Rosen to get there, get on the right foot with his coaches, with the teammates, tell them what he's all about, be the first one there, be early, and set that right tone, because I do think out of all the quarterbacks, people have a different outlook on him that he's going to have to convince, unfortunately, for whatever reason.
Okay, you said that Sam Darnold ran a good campaign. You said that Rosen tried to. Or Baker ran a good campaign. I feel like both of them did. But you said Josh Rosen tried to. I don't think he tried to.
You don't.
I think that's what rubbed people the wrong way.
His theme was authenticity, like he told us.
I think that he didn't. And I think people wanted him to try harder, at least fake it, man. Like, act like you want to be here. Give us the right answers. Be political. And
What's your take?
He's like, no, I'm not going to try to impress you. What I did on the field is enough. I'm going to answer the questions the way I want to answer them. If you get rubbed the wrong way, cool. You know I'm a good quarterback, so respect my game, not what comes out my mouth.
So is that going to be him at rookie minicamp? He's not going to keep quiet, show up, and do his job? Like, that is going to be expected of him like the others? He's going to show up.
If there ever was a time for him to do it, it was the draft process.
And it's not so.
Why now?
Then I can't wait for that.
I also wonder, and it's a good question on Rosen's personality. It's everyone's saying, well, he's going to mature, he's going to be different. If you're the quarterback of the team and you're an Aaron Rodgers or you're Ben Roethlisberger, maybe people around you have to adjust to you. And it goes back to the thing where, people didn't draft Tom Brady because they didn't think he fit their system. And sometimes these coaches and maybe Josh Rosen is the real deal. He is the next wave of quarterbacks, and it's going to take a coach to maybe bend a little bit.
How do you feel as an NFL player hearing that the coach is going to bend to a rookie?
It's tough. It's tough for me to say a coach is going to bend to a rookie, but
new coach.
After a guy earns that respect, I'm okay with teams having to bend to the personality of the player because I grew up so much in love with Michael Jordan. And all I heard was that the team adjusted to his greatness, and they had to fall in line. And then Kobe came along, and he did the same way. And some people hate him, some people love him, but the team around him had to adjust.
Especially a quarterback, Nate.
And that's the Kobe of the football team, right? It's the quarterback. But rookies, though, there's certain unwritten rules you have to follow. And to be honest, Kay, I feel like this new generation of young QBs, they don't follow those written rules. They're done with the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
I can't wait to hear from Larry Fitzgerald once he gets around this guy. Right. Look at Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer, the old guard team. And then this dude comes in, does things differently. I cannot wait to see how Fitz reacts to him in the huddle.
I do think people question his love for football.
Really?
I talked to him about it on the red carpet, and he said, yeah, there's doubters. And I was like, how can people say that you hate this? Look what's going on around you. Yes, there are those people. So in my opinion, he is the most approved right off the bat at rookie minicamp, showing up first, being the dedicated guy that people question that he is.
It's such an odd thing to question. After a guy playing football his whole life since he was 9 years old, you sacrifice time and you have all these injuries and you deal with the ups and downs of the sport and you finally make it and get drafted and people see you and they say, it's not us, but it's the questions that we hear and we're like, yo, do you love football? And he's like, bro, I'm here. I'm here.
Go ask his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll find her.
The excitement levels are high for all of these quarterbacks, but name the one who will have the coaches in absolute awe. There's a couple obvious answers here. We can go with anybody. Hey!
remember the pro day? And all our guys on the network are watching him, and he's throwing it. They go, ooh.
I think you're still drooling.
I am, and I just feel like he shows up, you put a quarter in Josh Allen, he takes it out and goes, and everyone's going to be freaking out. Pray for A.J. McCarron. Pray for him, because I just want to see that howitzer let loose on day one.
I'll be quick. I'll double down. Look, I'm a sucker for a guy who could throw the ball 80 yards. Call me crazy. And I think that's exactly when it's going to happen. There's going to be a bunch of college guys coming in with him. They're like, all right, what's this guy's deal? He's going to throw one of those passes and be like, okay, that's the deal. That's why he's a top 10 pick. His college coach came on with us at the draft, Craig Bowl, and said, Carson Wentz has an unbelievable arm and has an amazing capacity upstairs to figure it all out. There's never been an arm like Josh Allen's. Josh Allen's arm is going to blow away a lot of people in rookie minicamp. Whether he could play football or quarterback, I have no idea, but I know he can throw the ball.
The Mahomes effect.
Yeah. I'm going right here with Lamar Jackson. Oftentimes when you're in a relationship and you know that it's coming towards the end and you go towards that breakup, guys that are hurt or they didn't accomplish what they wanted within the relationship, they date something different, something completely different. And there's nothing more different. I'm not just talking about the color of his skin. I'm talking about his athletic ability. And you look at Joe Flacco, and not that he wasn't athletic when he first got in the league and he didn't have the big arm, but Lamar Jackson leaving the pocket, say he scrambles, and then you got the linebacker, the safety in the corner, trailing him at practice with the angle, and you think, oh, they're going to push him out of bounds. And he runs that 4-3 at practice, and it's one of those moments I remember being at practice and Randy Moss tracking down a ball that nobody thought he can get from Dante Culpepper. Like Dante literally threw it from his back pocket and purposely tried to outthrow him. Because in the 10th row, they're talking trash to each other like brothers. You can't outthrow me. You can't outthrow me. And Dante's like, all right, we're going to see. And once he caught that ball, collected breath, everybody paused, and Mike Tice, our head coach, said, and that's why he's the best receiver. God dang, Lee. I'm like, whoo, okay. It's going to be like that with Lamar Jackson. He's going to make a play, run past everybody on the field. They're starters. Guys that are paid millions of dollars to stop the best players on the football field. And the head coach, Harbaugh, is going to say, and that's why we got him in the first round. That's why they're going to be impressed.
If Jerry Jones watched, he just threw his coffee mug across the office.
I want that guy.
That Randy Moss story. Unbelievable, Nick.
Name that quarterback with the rookies. Big Ben sort of made waves and headlines because he said that he wasn't just going to hand the job to Mason Rudolph, the third-rounder drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I feel like it's safe to say, given the fact that we're arguing over who's starting first in a league this year among rookies, nobody's going to be handed that starting gig. Name the quarterback that will have the veteran on their team feeling like some kind of way.
Feeling a little shaky, baby?
Yes, a little shaky, baby.
Go ahead. I'm going right here. I'm going with Baker Mayfield. And, I feel like Tyrod is going to be the starter. I know he's not going to give away the job, but I feel like the pressure of him being number one, similar to what Schrager was talking about in the first hour, also the energy from the crowd and the fan base. I remember being on that field in Cleveland my last year playing football, and Brian Hoyer doing everything he was supposed to do consistently, every single practice. And Johnny would make one play. He'd shake a guy. He'd run opposite. I remember Johnny specifically running the wrong play, running the opposite direction.
Doesn't matter.
Throwing across the field to me because I was running the wrong play because I was still learning the playbook. And I shake a guy and I get in the end zone. And you would think, the coaches would bring us over and say, what in the hell are you guys doing? Which they did in their own way. But we couldn't hear the coaches talk to us because the fans were screaming.
It was the mini miracle.
And roaring. It was like the greatest play they ever seen.
Yes.
Johnny, throwing the money signs in the air. So I'm not saying the pressure will get Baker Mayfield on the field, but I do feel like the energy that he brings to the table as a number one overall draft pick and what the crowd wants to see, what the fans want to see, that right there is going to have Tyrod like, I got to deal with this circus again. And that's a different element because a lot of quarterbacks don't have to deal with that.
I'm going to go with this guy because I feel like it's deja vu for Sam Bradford. He had this great career, good year with Chip Kelly, and then what do? They go and they trade up and they draft Carson Wentz with the number 2 overall pick, and he's in Philadelphia thinking, wait a second. And then you go last year to Minnesota. He's like, I'm the starter. I'm the guy. Then wait a second. Case Keenum. And I'm healthy. I'm ready to go back. They're like, we're going to stick with Keenum. Bradford's been through this too many times for him not to be scared and at least a little nervous that the young buck might take the gig. And it's not because of this guy. It's because about his own history.
It seems like the harder question is which veteran isn't a little shaky. Because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson and Flacco and even Josh Allen and AJ. There's a lot going on.
I might answer that question, Tyrod. You talk about Baker. Tyrod knew what time it was. He knew the Browns have the number 1 pick. There's somebody coming in here. The guy who got sort of sucker punched is the guy who's playing in front of this dude. Now, there is nothing more threatening or intimidating than a superior athlete, a superior talent. I'll never forget, I was watching this behind-the-scenes thing. It was for a magazine cover shoot. Maybe it was SI, ESPN. And they're doing the regional covers, all right? So they bring in Colin Kaepernick. This is years ago before his career changed. And he wears shoulder pads with no shirt underneath. And you remember what it's just shredded. Muscles on muscles on muscles. And it's an incredible
the original
photo.
Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, exactly. Then the next person they bring is Matt Ryan. He's got a spandex on under his shoulder pads, and the photographers go, any way we get you to take the shirt off? And he goes, hell no, not after Kaepernick. I'm not taking my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that's a different deal. This is a different deal from Joe Flacco. If they had brought in Josh Allen, certainly, it'd be like, okay, this is the guy I relate to this guy. This guy does what I do. This guy does not do what Flacco does, and I don't know if he knew it was coming. So the sucker punch factor and the elite athlete factor, I'd be a little nervous if I'm Flacco.
I agree.
It's sad for Flacco.
And Matt Ryan.
Flacco got a Super Bowl. He's good.
That's true.
And he's still a baller.
$120 million and 5 kids. Flacco's good.
One last one. Whose arrival will be the most... I feel bad for Matt Ryan, too. Whose arrival will be the most talked about of these rookies, these 5 rookies in front of you? Schrags?
I'm going with Baker. We saw the private jet arrival. We saw him talk with Greg. He's got a brother, Matt, that is always with him in these photos, and his girlfriend. And he feels like it's like the episode of Entourage a little bit, not in a bad way, but like he's bringing his boys from home. Like his brother's going to be in his corner. He had an agent that wasn't one of the big guys. It wasn't necessarily a Tom Condon or a David Dunn. He's got his own agent, Jack Mills. Baker Mayfield is going to come in with style, and he's going to bring his people with him. It's going to be his imprint on Cleveland. I can't wait.
Johnny Drama, Turtle.
All the guys.
Yeah.
I got a double
in the most positive of ways.
Oh, that's great.
I got a double down.
Cool guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at all these guys, and I feel like they're going to be traditional. They might even have some hybrid plug-in vehicles. Not Baker Mayfield, man. He's going to have the fancy vehicle. He's going to have the outfit with the headband.
Really?
I feel like this is that guy. Even though it's Cleveland, and being in Cleveland, it's not the major market. So oftentimes, you want to seem bigger than life. I remember when I pulled up to the facility, and I'm like, Is that a Porsche? Wrapped in camouflage? What are we doing out here? So, yeah, shout out to Josh Gordon. But yeah, so
Josh Gordon's on a camouflage Porsche. Wow.
Yeah, and it was nice. But yeah, so I'm going with Baker Mayfield. I feel like he's the reinvention of the old school, and this is going to sound like a really big hot take, but I guess the panache of Broadway Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to go completely the other way. Completely. I'm going to go with this guy. I see this guy showing up in an Uber X, maybe getting off a bus, getting off a train, the complete opposite way. That's what gets talked about. Trubisky had the beat-up old car.
Not the factory line?
No business
Alfred
is
Morris.
booming. Yes, a man of the people, Sam Darnold, says, I'm not on New York. I'm here to play football.
The way you
Exactly
talk about it,
right.
you be packaged off the factory assembly line.
Actually fly with his boosters like Iron Man.
Put a picture up. He looks like an banker that work at like Goldman a little bit.
Oh, he really does right here. He's got a great portfolio. We
It's all
love you, Sam.
conjecture until it
The
happens,
Darbot.
and it happens tomorrow. It is rookie minicamp, and you can see all of the coverage you need right here on NFL Network. You can follow Baker Mayfield, maybe in a Porsche covered and wrapped in camo.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't bring a flag with him to plant it anywhere in Ohio. Just like bring the headband, leave the flags at home. All right, it is NFL Rookie Camp kicking off tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Now, the expectations for Jameis and the Bucs. They were high last year, but they might be even higher now after a draft that solidified both sides of the ball. They got a couple nasty players as well. We have another GM joining us. Our boy!
Yeah.
Bucs GM Jason Light joining us after this. Yeah, I called him our boy.
He is.
Give us the work no one else wants to do. We don't just go against the grain. We grow it. Give us the frontiers. The places where success is measured and pushed limits. Give us the middle of nowhere, where the only map is your buddy's tread marks. This life, no one's born ready for it.
New for summer, Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange. Brewed with real lime and orange peels to be the most summery beer on the planet. Possibly other planets too. Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange. Brewed with real citrus peels.
Mom, Dad, hi. I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. But what a powerful life lesson. And don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll just forgive you.
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Introducing new Post-it Extreme Notes. They stick in tough conditions, so you can get it set and get just about any job done. Water resistant with Durahold paper and adhesive. New Post-it Extreme Notes. They're tailored for tough.
The best cuts of meat are treated with respect. Topped with aged Kentucky bourbon barbecue sauce. What happens to the less great cuts of meat? Not sure. Cheeseburgers, maybe? Bourbon barbecue sandwiches. Arby's, we have the meats.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal. He's a freaking nation.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018. Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
I'm all about my bed.
This mattress is dangerously comfortable.
When I get in, I literally say, ah.
Introducing the Leesa mattress. A better place to sleep.
This bed hugs my body.
I'm now a morning person.
The Leesa mattress is designed to provide strong support, relieve pressure, and optimize airflow to keep you cool.
Hello, bed of my dreams.
Order online. We'll build it, box it, and ship it to your door for you to enjoy. Sleep on it for up to 100 nights and love it, or you'll get a full refund. Returns are free and easy.
I love my Leesa.
Today is gonna be great.
Read our reviews, then try the Leesa mattress in your own home. Order now and get $125 off, plus a free pillow worth $75 and free shipping too. Go to buylisa.com today.
You need this bed.
What?
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We are so excited to talk to Bucs GM Jason Licht in just a little bit, but we got news, baby, right here on GMFB. Jason Witten is finishing a Hall of Fame career with the Dallas Cowboys, and he will be in the booth for Monday Night Football. Thoughts, guys?
Shout out to Jason Witten. Listen, I can appreciate a guy that transitions out of the game and he has a plan B, and this is the best plan B there is. It's almost like a 1A after you have a Hall of Fame career. You know, even though he played for the Cowboys, he's a superstar, he will go down as one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. It's very difficult, and I don't want to minimize how difficult it is for guys to find a job, let alone be happy in something. This will keep him close to the game. He's going to do a great job, you know, and we get to see a different side of him. For the most part, I believe a lot of people don't know Jason Witten, and this is going to be a chance for him to kind of expand his brand.
Which makes it a really odd hire. I mean, if you're saying that we don't know Jason Witten after 12 years and he's the voice of Monday Night Football, I mean, not odd, but it's a if you have a Dallas Cowboys star on your helmet, you will get the lead job at one. I mean,
2 years in a row.
Aikman, Romo, and Witten are the lead guys for 3 of the 4 networks, and they had Dallas Cowboys stars. America's team, that is right. That's in your living rooms every Sunday and Monday now.
There's a lot to unpack in this, of course, his playing career and everything, but as a broadcaster, I cannot wait. I'm genuinely intrigued. I kind of thought Romo would be cool and the Cowboy quarterback thing. What's Witten's signature segment going to be? Is it Witten's wit? What are we doing with Witten? We got to have something to package this thing. That first game he calls, Kay, big time.
Who's going to live up to the standard set by Jason Witten as the tight end for the Cowboys? Unbelievable.
Goddard.
We'll see.
Went to Philly.
Yeah, I was like, no, that didn't happen.
I don't know.
We'll break down all of that. Jason Witten, congratulations on a career. I'm sure we'll be hitting up the NFL Films archives for some footage as he turns 36 this weekend.
And speaking of living up to legacies,
yeah.
He's a repeat guest, one of our show's favorite. He might be our very favorite general manager. We've gone through everything with this man, from the Hard Knocks experience to his perspiration habits. I related personally to his son Charlie's promising youth lacrosse career. Now, though, he is here as one of the GMs being listed as one of the biggest winners of the entire NFL draft. Guys, let's do it again. Let's welcome Bucs GM Jason Licht to Good Morning Football. Yeah. What's up, Jason? Good morning. How are you, my friend? Welcome back.
Good morning, guys. It's glad to be back.
All right, let's get right on this, Jason. You're 7th on the clock down in Texas. The clock is ticking. Erwin James is there, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Roquan Smith. Others are just sitting there, ready to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The phone rings. Take us through that moment with the Bills. How did that trade go down?
Well, we prepared for just about every scenario that you can think of, and that was one that we kept coming back to over and over, you know, in the 2 weeks leading up to the draft with John Spytek, myself, Greenberg, Mike Beal, that if Vita was sitting there and he was 4th on our board and he's sitting there, do we move back, pick up extra picks, run the risk of losing him, but potentially still get him? But, you know, that was the risk that we ran. We still had another player or two that we would have been happy taking at 12 if Vita was gone. But we ended up getting the extra picks. We ended up getting Vita, and we were very ecstatic about it.
You trade back to 12, and you do get Vita Vea. What did you see in that big man that made him take you over the local favorite, Derwin James?
Now, we like Derwin a lot. Derwin would have been a really good fit for us here, too. But, you know, kind of the theme along the whole offseason is building up the trenches. I think I mentioned to you guys last time I talked to you, we want to kick ass up there. So, you know, Vita, you know, a big man, very athletic, mean on the field, tough guy. Just went along with the theme of what we were doing, and we want to build from front to back.
Jason, I just feel like you're so delightful. You are our favorite GM, my favorite GM, to come on the show, yet your team is so mean. Peter keeps stressing on how tough and nasty and mean this team got this season. So you had Ryan Jensen in free agency, Bo Allen, JPP, all in free agency. And then you add Vita Vea, who's the 4th guy on your board. Congrats on grabbing him. But Alex Kappa also in the 3rd round. What is he all about? And wow. This is, you gotta fill us in. This is his come to, you know, GMFB moment. Thor. And how much tougher will the 2018 Bucs be than the 2017 version?
You know, he looks like a bigger version of Ham Porter from Sandlot there.
The great Gambino?
You're killing me, S'mores. Like I said, it was the theme, and it just fell right for us this year. The guys that we wanted, there are plenty of guys that we wanted, so it's not like we got it exactly, narrowed it down to 8 guys and got those 8 guys, but the guys that we wanted were there. And, Alex is another tough guy. We got to have another bouncer up front. I think Mayock called him a barroom bouncer. He is. He's a tough guy. So we got him, Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Donovan Smith. We got to protect that franchise back there. So we're very excited about that.
All right, speaking of protecting that franchise in that backfield, you scoop up Ronald Jones in the second round. With Doug Martin gone, is it safe to assume, and I know we don't want to make assumptions and we don't want to give rookies anything, but is it safe to assume that the USC running back could lead the Bucs backfield this season?
I'd say it's safe to assume that he's going to make an impact. We're very happy with Peyton Barber, and we feel like now we've got a pretty good back, room there with those backs that we have. Bringing Charles Sims back, him, Jaquiz Rogers. Yeah, I think he's going to make an impact. To be the starter and the lead dog right away, I can't say that, but we're very excited to have him. He brings something that we haven't had for a while here, and that's juice. So he's an explosive runner. We like that about him. So now there's going to be a good competition there.
Yeah. We love some competition. We love some juice. We love how you handled yourself at the draft, Jason. And big shout out to the stick carriers as always. But we need to discuss the biggest bust in Bucs history. I'm talking about Jaja the Parrot. Jason, you cannot preach toughness and just let this slide. I need to know, we were supposed to hear a pick announcement from Jaja. It was just frozen. It fell flat. Did the Turk come and ask for Jaja the Parrot's playbook after that disaster on Saturday?
Well, I'm a little somber today because I let Jaja go today.
Okay. Oh, man.
I had to put on the face and act like I was a little upset. I really wasn't. You expect your picks to rise to the occasion and be in the moment.
Yep.
Obviously, a complete failure on Jaja. Yep. She's a good bird. But when you look back and you see what other birds you had on the board, we had Toucan Sam. We had a Snowball.
Yep.
Even Petey the Parakeet from Dumb and Dumber had more juice. So
the headless
we're going to have
Petey didn't even have a head.
We're going to have a workout today, and I promise you, we're going to do better and exceed expectations next year.
Well, usually they see their players will land on their feet, but he has wings, so he's going to be all right.
Yeah, and Jason, I would say you're doing Jaja a solid, letting her catch on with another team. You're letting her go. Maybe she can spray paint black and go join the Ravens or something. You know what I mean? Another team could find a use for her.
There's no doubt. We thought about practice squad, but it was just time. Sometimes it's just time to cut ties.
Rip the Band-Aid.
This is the guy. This is the best GM in the league. This is the guy.
Well done.
Vita Vea and Derwin James both were drafted, but today's news might be Jason Witten stepping away from the Cowboys and stepping into the broadcast booth. You've been around the league 2 decades. What impact did Jason Witten have on the NFL, and what's your thoughts in relation to those news?
Jason Witten, he's a guy that we still talk about to this day, and we will for a long time when we're going through scouting meetings. It's not always the speed and the strength and the things that you can measure that make a player great. It's the heart, it's the intelligence, and this guy was just a super instinctive player that just found a way to get the ball in his hands and found a way to do something with it. He's a legendary player. He's a surefire Hall of Famer, and I'm happy for him, and I'm happy also because we played Dallas this year. So
That's it, Jason. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining us. I'm wishing Jaja well. I think we both agree that it just wasn't a right fit.
Yeah,
just wasn't a right fit. We're going back to the drawing board to how we evaluate parrots.
Perfect. Jason Licht, thank you so much for joining Good Morning Football. We'll have you on again soon. Go Bucs. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was amazing.
So good.
Light up! Really amazing.
How hilarious was he? I remember him on Hard Knocks, and they're out at a bar, and there's the staff, and they're just having beers going over the game plan, and the waitress comes by, Jason Licht goes, I think there's a hole in my beer. Can I have an... he's got the jokes for days.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Well, I love that all the GMs are stopping by, and I feel like I like what he said, that he's, I think he said, might have said in the commercial break, like he's breathing a little easier now. Like the draft process is done, and now it's time to get to work, and it's an exciting time.
And we're joking with him. He's right, though, and you're right. They brought in so many mean, nasty people. Training camp is going to be feisty there. Like, Gerald McCoy is pretty much a solid.
Yeah.
There's going to be fights in the trenches at training camp. I really hope our show can get down there and see this. Like, it's going to be a nasty team, and you have to be in that division.
I love that. Cowboys great tight end Jason Witten. We just found this out. He's officially retired from the Dallas Cowboys. He will enter the broadcast booth for ESPN on Monday Night Football, leading the NFL as the 4th in NFL receptions. More on Jason Witten and his amazing career and what this means for the Cowboys next. Let's walk.
Now walk it out. From the style DJ. Now walk it out. And here we go. Now walk it out. 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 Now west side walk it out. South side walk it out. East side walk it out. North side walk it out. Walk it out.
Are you done? Okay, let's go home.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
Find the perfect walker for your dog.
Rover.com, the dog people.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
Kyle, I got you.
Okay. What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Is that for us?
It sure is.
Gimme.
What about here?
Here too, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
He said yes. Let's battle.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Running a business means I can't waste time, especially when I'm hiring. I used to pore over resumes, but now I post my jobs on Indeed. Their screener questions help me get to my shortlist, people with the qualifications I need, like 5 years experience. All saving me time that I get to put back into running my business. Hiring's better when you've got your shortlist. Learn how screener questions can save you time when you post your job on Indeed.
Feel it in the air. Taste it hot off the grill. Spring is here, folks. The only question is, will you be? Kingsford, start something.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877-CASH.
Call to find out how to get a $5,000 cash advance for your structured settlement. That's $5,000 to use any way you like.
877-CASH. 877-CASH.
Call J.G. Wentworth now for your $5,000. All are subject to meeting certain underwriting and transaction requirements. Call the number provided or visit 5000now.com for further details.
Applebee's new Bigger, Bolder Grill Combos. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Tonight on Path to the Draft, our experts do a full recap of this year's class with complete team-by-team breakdowns and draft grades.
That was one heck of a draft class.
Path to the Draft, the aftermath. Tonight at 6 on NFL Network.
Experience the thrill of NFL Red Zone on NFL Network.
Stacked lineup of games today.
Every week, we'll replay a different Sunday afternoon of the 2017 season. Touchdown! NFL Red Zone Replay, Sunday at 1 on NFL Network.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Football. Will Sullivan inside the NFL Network newsroom. Well, tight end Jason Witten making a decision on his future, informing Cowboys owner Jerry Jones he is indeed retiring. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo both confirming the news this morning. Witten will move to the broadcast booth, accepting a position with Monday Night Football. Witten has taken some time to make the decision after the story first broke last week that he was contemplating retirement. Witten leaves the Cowboys as the franchise's all-time leader in games played, catches, and receiving yards. Well, Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier with one of the top moments from the draft, walking across the stage to announce the Steelers' #1 pick. Wednesday, he was officially placed on the reserve, physically unable to perform list, which means he will not count against the 90-man offseason roster of his draft moment. Steelers GM Kevin Colbert saying it was a huge lift for him and the organization. And nobody was more shocked that the 49ers drafted Mike McGlinchey than McGlinchey himself. General Manager John Lynch admitting they canceled their scheduled workout with McGlinchey to hide their interest in drafting him with the 9th pick. Now Lynch adding working him out wasn't going to change how they felt about him, so they wanted to, quote, lay under the radar. We knew teams played mind games leading up to the draft, so it's refreshing for Lynch to flat out admit it. So McGlinchey was surprised, but Lynch laying low with the interest of the 49ers.
Will Selva with that breaking news on Jason Witten. We'll talk to you to get further updates as we sort of break this down. I'm just thinking no Dez, no Jason Witten. It has to be over 50% of the targets from Dak last year are gone.
It's huge. He needs to have a massive season. Ezekiel Elliott needs to help him because that's huge. And leadership, everything across the board. It's a big loss.
Dak was on the show with us Friday at the draft in the afternoon, and it was when all these rumors were coming out, and I could tell you Dak was not given a long heads up on this. I think everyone in the Cowboys organization was kind of like, what? So, I mean, this is pretty abrupt. This is not something that every Cowboy expected since January that Witten would step away. As recently as last week, Witten was saying, I'm on board, I'm here. And his car wasn't there on the first day of training camp and the first day of voluntary camp, so I think the writing was on the wall.
Dalton Schultz, Stanford guy. They drafted him in the 4th round. Is that the replacement?
I don't know.
No, you don't replace Jason Witten with a 4th-round draft pick. But this even furthers the discussion that Dak Prescott, this is his biggest year. You know, going into your 3rd season, this could either define you as a true elite quarterback. You're missing Dez. You're missing a Hall of Fame tight end. If you go out and have a great year, and most of it will be leaning on the running game and being decisive with the ball and throwing it to the right places. If he comes out of this year on top, all of a sudden you're talking about him breaking the bank. I'm talking about Kirk Cousins breaking the bank. But if he struggles, then that conversation starts. Was that first season an outlier? And this is, if you want pressure and you love pressure as a quarterback, this is it. It doesn't get much better than this if you're Dak Prescott.
Jeff Swaim, Rico Gathers, and this draft pick. So free agent, is Gary Barnidge out there somewhere?
I hope so.
Is he available in free agency?
They like Rico. I mean, he was a guy who came out of Baylor as a basketball player, and he's come along. Look, this is the NFL, and Jason Witten restructured his contract to make $4 million with a signing bonus last year. I would assume ESPN had to come close to that for him to step away because he's still healthy and can play. So he's getting paid big bucks, probably the same money he was getting as a player to sit in a broadcast booth and do the games with injury-free and be able to be the face of the Monday Night Football. It's a huge honor. Can't spite Jason Witten for doing it. But just as we always say, how could the team cut Dez Bryant after free agency? So screwed up. And how are they going to – wow, players are loyal to themselves, too. He's putting the Cowboys in a tough spot. Guess what, guys? It's the NFL. It's a business on both sides.
Yeah, this is the frustrating part for me as a player is when teams lose somebody, they automatically think they have to replace that person with one individual. And fans think the same thing. They think, okay, who's going to be the replacement? It's not the case. You don't replace a Hall of Famer with what you hope is a mirror reflection of what he brought to the field. You replace a Hall of Famer with a legit collection of athletes. So
do they have that? That's the point I'm trying to make.
It can be 2 guys. It can be 3 guys. It can be 3 unknowns. Just look at what they do.
It has to be 5 guys because they lost Dez too.
You look at what they do in New England. One guy leaves and it's the next guy up. It could be a practice squad individual. It could be a late round draft pick, a free agent. They say, listen, you guys will make what we need to replace an individual.
I figured it out.
What's that?
Gates.
Antonio Gates to the Cowboys. Make it happen.
Not re-signing the Chargers. Star on the helmet.
I love it.
Antonio Gates.
I've been watching a lot of All or Nothing about the Cowboys last season. I've been binging it. It's incredible. There's a moment that crystallized for me with Witten that I don't know if it's replaceable by Gates or anybody else. He pulls the captains aside and he sits there in his huddle, and this is early in the season, and he talks about this is what we do, this is how we work. He said, we've seen teammates killed. We've seen everything here with this organization. What matters is here. And I was like, he's Captain America. He's the greatest leader I've ever seen. So you bring in someone who can get you 50 catches, sure. But can they get you that? I don't know if there's a person in all sports who can get you that for them.
4th all-time in receptions at tight end. 15-year career in the NFL. That is a whole lot of experience to bring in with him to that booth. All right, we'll be back after this. We've got power rankings to get to. More on Jason Witten, more on the Cowboys, taking your comments at #GMFB. And we'll talk more about the rookie class.
And how about the star and glitz of the Cowboys? You know, they love the show. They love the fame. So do we here in a segment called GMZ.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018, Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
Give us the work no one else wants to do. We don't just go against the grain. We grow it. Give us the frontiers. The places where success is measured and pushed limits. Give us the middle of nowhere, where the only map is your buddy's tread marks. This life, no one's born ready for it.
You ever wonder if we're paying too much for car insurance?
Nope.
Hey, you've got an accident on your driving record the same as me.
Yeah, but I'm insured by the General.
You mean for a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time? That General?
Yeah, that General.
Get your anonymous online quote with low payments and immediate proof of insurance. Find out if you're paying too much for car insurance. Get an anonymous online quote now.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Here's your Brees. I'm sorry to bother you, but my car broke down, and I'd really appreciate a ride to the stadium.
Yes!
But no, I have to stay here and wait for a package. I thought anybody who rooted for me would have FedEx Delivery Manager. That way you can sign for your packages remotely and even customize your delivery time.
Excuse me, sir. Could you take me to the stadium?
Sure, hop in.
Thank you.
Hope you like jazz fusion. Squid up one.
Sorry.
Customize your deliveries with FedEx Delivery Manager.
Introducing new Post-it Extreme Notes. They stick in tough conditions, so you can get it set and get just about any job done. Water resistant with DuraHold paper and adhesive. New Post-it Extreme Notes. They're tailored for tough.
Basically, you can get any two of these premium sandwiches for $6. Let's play! What's your deal?
All right, I'm cranking it. $6. I got a spicy chicken and a Whopper. Jackpot.
It's the 2 for $6 mixer match deal. Now with a new spicy crispy chicken, only at Burger King.
Of course, a Lexus is powerful. But if you had any lingering doubts about the acceleration, horsepower, and all-round performance of a Lexus Hybrid, this should clear the air. Lexus Hybrids, crafted to be fast as H. Now comparably priced to the rest of the lineup. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, AFC South, one of the best divisions, who had the best draft. Special guest Yannick Ngakoue can't be impartial. Power Rankings guru Elliot Harrison has to be. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
All right, good morning, party people. This is GMZ. I'm Henry Levinson. I got my sippy cup, I've got my crew of hooligans, and I've got something to say to anybody who doesn't take us seriously, who thinks we don't do our research, know how to ask questions. You try asking Sir Ben Kingsley on a Burbank tarmac about Chloe Grace Moretz's IG stories. Just try it. I dare you. You try having a rapper in studio to spew some nonsensical garbage in a deep act to promote his album. Just try it. We are the foot soldiers of journalism, and I'll show you what I mean. Guys, I probably shouldn't ask, but what do we got?
All right, listen. We ran into breakout star Juju Smith-Schuster at the draft.
I love Juju.
Yeah, everybody loves a good Juju. And listen, and this Steeler closed the steel curtain on his... Hey, check it out.
Oh, my goodness.
Juju Smith-Schuster is only 21 years old and already plays like a well-seasoned vet. But we must have caught him after a poor night's sleep. What's wrong? Didn't have your blankie? Well, boo-hoo, Juju.
Jojo, can I ask you a couple questions? I'm a huge fan. Jojo, is you cool with that? Can we ask you a couple questions?
My name's not Jojo.
What's your name?
Juju.
Okay, I want to get your name. All right, so we got Juju Smith-Schuster right here. How old are you, Juju?
21.
21?
Yeah.
So you weren't even alive for like Suddenly Susan, right?
No, not who that is.
No, you missed out, man. And Fortnite, are you more Tilted Towers or Greasy Grove?
More Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers?
Yeah.
How come?
More action.
Yeah, more action. That's what I always say. I love the towers. Does Juju like Juju bees?
No.
No? Why not? They're named after you, no? You don't like
Yeah.
the Juju bees?
I mean, just because it's named after them doesn't mean I like them.
Okay, that's a good take. What is your official stance on the Korean peace treaty?
What?
No, all right, we can move on. Korean peace treaty is a big thing to have. North Korea, South Korea, no comment from Jojo. All right, next year's celebration, we just want to know, will you finally do Red Rover, come on over?
No, I gotta go though.
No, you gotta go?
Yeah.
All right, well listen, JoJo, I watch you all the time with the Eagles. I love it, man. Thank you. You're the best. I'm a huge fan. I get it.
Ooh, I don't know about you guys, but that encounter seemed like it had some bad juju to it.
Hey, and listen, Mr. Smith might have gone to Washington, but Mr. Schuster looked like he just wanted to get away from us, boss.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Why do I even ask?
That Steeler thought that interview was the pits.
Oh! Wait, you mean like the Berg?
Like
you guys, I don't know what you've been drinking in your breaks, but the Berg pits.
Henry, I have another one. I have a doozy.
What do you got?
Martellus Bennett might be focusing on running his imagination agency. So you can imagine how this encounter went when we caught up with him with our guys.
Well, 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 we finally caught the unicorn. It's former tight end Martellus Bennett, one of the league's wildest personalities. Let's find out what Martellus will tell us.
Hey, Martellus Bennett. Martellus, can we ask you a couple questions?
Martellus.
Martellus.
Yes.
Can we ask you a couple questions?
Yes.
It's important stuff. Listen, if Tom Brady went to Hogwarts, what house would the sorting hat put him in?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor? What about color?
Slytherin.
Slytherin. I knew it. Hey, if you got to be president for one day, Marcellus, what would you do?
Martellus.
Martellus. President Martellus. What would you do if you were president for one day?
The same thing Obama did.
What's that?
Change the world.
Last question, Martellus. You write children's books. Other than yours, what's the greatest one? Is it the Red Shoe Diaries as a bedtime story?
My story's the best.
Your story's the best. Also, Chloe was cheated on. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care?
Nothing.
Nothing? Thank you, Martellus. There's a controversy. Should the Simpsons get rid of groundskeeper Willie? Yes or no? No? Thank you.
Listen, I think we would have gotten better answers out of Tony Bennett. I love Tony Bennett.
Singer?
The great singer with Lady Gaga. Did you know that?
Look, I know he played tight end, but he sure seemed tight at the end there.
And the beginning.
At the end of the whole thing.
Cardi B might make money moves, but it looked like Martellus is making getaway moves.
Yeah! He bolted fast.
I don't know why I ask you guys. I mean, you're going to get this whole place torn down. I'm going to be out of work. Do we have anything else, dare I ask?
We ran down former #1 pick Carson Palmer. He was down in Dallas, and he was far from our #1 fan. Take a look.
Carson Palmer put up some big-time numbers in the NFL, but now he's got a little thing called retirement to deal with. Hope you like crossword puzzles, Carson, because here's a 3-letter acronym you can't miss. Shh, it's GMZ.
Hey, Carson, can we ask you a couple questions? I'm a big fan. Just a couple questions. I'm a huge fan. A couple questions. Listen, I know you've been training these young quarterbacks, get them ready for the NFL. What was it like to work with Deshaun Watson?
You got me mixed up with my brother. That's my brother, Jordan. That's not me.
And who are you? All right, but you were the bachelor. What was your hardest rose ceremony? What was the most difficult one?
The final rose of 03.
The final rose. Okay, how about this? We know what's in an Arnold Palmer. What's in a Carson Palmer?
Same thing with a little bit of Tito's.
Oh, I like it. Listen, would you say, Carson Palmer, would you say you have the whitest name in NFL history?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
More than Peyton Manning?
Second.
What about Colt McCoy?
Third.
Third? Okay, third. So listen, you have an 18-hour flight, 18 hours. Would you rather sit next to Pete Carroll or Ocho Cinco?
Can I have the middle seat between the two?
If you want it.
I'll take the middle
You
seat.
can have it. All right, last question. Kanye says he shares dragon energy with President Trump. What are your thoughts on that?
Can I get some?
You got it. You got it. You're great. Jesse Palmer.
Jesse Palmer.
Jesse Palmer.
The Bachelor.
We loved you. The fantasy
Have a great
suite.
day.
You're the best. I love you.
I gotta go.
You gotta go. Thank you, Jordan Palmer. Thank you.
Jesse Palmer, Carson Palmer, more like Carson Facepalm, am I right?
That's what you do when you say something dumb.
Hey,
you guys have got it. Looks like he wanted to retire from that interview.
Oh my God!
It was a good line. You nailed it. You nailed it. Hey, and to me, it just seemed like Carson wanted to get to his car. Son.
It's over. I can't take you guys anymore. I can't take it. GMZ, thank you. It's the last episode ever. We're done. I'm leaving. I'm retiring. Here's my cup. Goodbye.
All right.
We got a little time here, Kyle.
Does anybody not
Kyle?
think I'm thinking?
All right, stop.
Does anybody?
No, don't do it.
Security!
I'm not feeling.
Get him out of here!
I can't go into my Kanye?
No.
No!
All right, let's get back
Give
to
me Meek
football.
Mill! It's
not.
free!
Let's talk NFL instead. Both Big Ben and Tom Brady say that they want to play for many years to come. 3 to 5, says Big Ben. Mid-40s, says Brady. Who will be the last man standing? We're going to wipe off the spit off Nate and Peter. We'll be back to do Throw It on Thursday after this.
Don't be in the splash zone, nerd GMZ.
If you like Copper Fit before, you're going to love the new Pro.
Introducing the next generation in Copper Fit compression garments, Copper Fit Pro.
I think the Copper Fit Pro is for everybody. They will love this product.
With Copper Fit Pro, my mobility has improved tremendously. I'm quicker on the court.
High-performance copper-infused compression, woven with targeted kinesiology technology to aid in faster recovery and performance and guaranteed relief of muscle aches and pains.
What I discovered immediately, the aches and pains diminished. The Copper Fit Pro is amazing.
Call 1-800-950-1636 or on the web at copperfitpro.com. Get your elbow or knee sleeve for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
Doesn't matter what you do, just take it to the next level with Copper Fit Pro.
Feel the power of Copper Fit compression. Live limitless.
I can't believe they charged me this much. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Go to CashNetUSA.com now. If approved, you may get the money you need as soon as tomorrow.
Thanks. Who are you?
I'm CashNetUSA.com. Man.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Seems like your average real estate agent, right? But did you know Pam is in the top 1% of agents in your area on HomeLight.com? Pam sold your neighbor's house and has every 5-star contractor in 10 miles on speed dial. Pam grew up a block away and sits on your city council. Pam has sold 5 times more homes than the best agent you know, and she sold them twice as fast. Pam is a super agent. Find your super agent right now on HomeLight.com.
He was on the wrong side of controversy.
Everybody was nice, like, I think we're about to get screwed.
The quarterback's arm was going forward.
Then struggled in his new home.
Had no clue how I got there. I think I was looking for a way out.
Until he brought glory back to Green Bay.
The title is back in town.
And cemented his Hall of Fame legacy where it all began.
Just watch his every move because it's walking greatness.
Charles Woodson of Football Life, tomorrow at 9, only on NFL Network.
How did you talk me into this? This is crazy. Horns! Watch the horns! Okay.
What you don't see can hurt you. If you just monitor your credit, you can miss certain identity theft threats. LifeLock sees more, like your personal information on the dark web. And if there is a problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 million protection package. LifeLock, starting at $9.99 a month.
With CarGurus, you don't have to know much about cars to know everything about a car.
Mom, whose car's up front?
That's mine.
Uncle Mike. That car's lit. Way lit. Lit's good.
I didn't know my car was lit, but I used CarGurus.
So I know that I got a great deal. CarGurus gives each used car a deal rating, always sorts the best deals first, and has more listings than any other major site.
Want to ride?
Lit. Lit. Lit.
Go to CarGurus today to find great deals from top-rated dealers near you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City. We have the news that Jason Witten has decided to retire officially after 15 years in the NFL. He is 4th on the all-time receptions list in the NFL. He has the most receptions of any Cowboy ever in franchise history, a storied history. This is a 2012 Walter Payton Man of the Year. And for more on that and everything else going on around the league, we bring in Will Selva for that report.
All right, thank you, Kay. Appreciate that. Witten making his decision on his future, informing Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He is indeed retiring. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo confirming the news this morning. Witten will move to the broadcast booth, accepting a position with Monday Night Football. Witten was taking some time to make the decision after the story first broke last week that he was contemplating retirement. Witten leaves the Cowboys, as Kay mentioned, the franchise's all-time leader in games played, catches, and receiving yards. Falcons running back Devontae Freeman dealing with a hamstring injury during the 2017 season before injuring both his MCL and PCL late in the season. He did not undergo surgery this offseason, but has been at the team facility rehabbing the injury and says he's feeling better and hopes to be good to go for week 1.
I'm able to do a lot of things that I couldn't do back in January, February, running, cutting, sprinting, getting a little stronger, cutting, making harder cuts, sprinting a little faster. The progress is getting better and better each day, so just going along with the program.
Now, if there is any concern about Sam Bradford not taking Josh Rosen under his wing, you can forget about that. Rosen telling Rich Eisen on Wednesday that Bradford texted him after he was drafted saying, quote, "Just want to let you know that I look forward to playing with you. I'll be an open book, so if you ever need anything or have any questions, feel free to ask. Hope all is well." Classy move there by Sam Bradford in the desert. Also in that quarterback room is Mike Glennon as well. But if you're Rosen, you are very happy to get that text and know there is support your way there out of the veteran Bradford.
Great stuff. We'll sell them more on Jason Witten, of course, officially retiring and entering the broadcast booth. That is all after this. What else we got in the third hour? A couple of GMs stopping by the show today.
We're going to talk power rankings. We're going to talk which teams we think are the top 3 teams in the league, and it could get heated. Witten, though, is the big news, right?
Yeah. We picked our top 3 teams. Did it take you a long time? I just split mine right out.
No, I went back and forth about 1,000 times before I finished my top 3 teams entering the season.
You might have a great opinion on Jason Witten. Drew Pearson, the Cowboys legend, is coming on the show in the third hour. We loved him at the draft, but now we got a whole different conversation with him.
You're right about that.
You guys can tweet the show, of course, at #GMFU. We have a poll going as well as far as which rookie quarterback taken in the first round is going to start in the NFL first, whether it's week 1 or week 4, whenever it is, who gets to start first. Go ahead and vote. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. And coming up, Cowboys' great tight end, Jason Witten, has officially retired. He will enter the broadcast booth, taking 11 Pro Bowls of experience along with him. 4 in the NFL in receptions. What is next for the Cowboys? 2 big holes to fill on offense. Let's walk.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now here we go. Now walk it out. 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 Now west side walk it out. South side walk it out. East side walk it out. North side walk it out. Walk it out.
Are you done? Okay, let's go home.
Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. Now walk it out.
Find the perfect walker for your dog. Rover.com, the dog people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Wentworth.
Alright. I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now. I have an annuity, but I need cash now. Call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. Call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now. Call now.
Feel it in the air. Taste it hot off the grill. Spring is here, folks. The only question is, will you be? Kingsford, start something.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive, but then I went to GoodRx.com.
It just works. You put in the drug you're looking for, and bang, you've got half a dozen or more choices in front of you of pricing and locations to get it.
You never think about shopping around for medication prices.
I have good insurance, but with GoodRx, I save even more money.
What? I was paying how much?
And it's absolutely free. No cost to me whatsoever.
I get to save $1,180 a year with GoodRx. This is awesome.
Go to GoodRx.com and check it out.
Welcome to Holiday Inn.
Thank you.
Wait, I have something for you.
Every stay is a special stay at Holiday Inn. Save up to 15% when you book early at HolidayInn.com.
You know that's poison ivy, right?
Yeah, no.
Game's about to start, guys. Let's go.
There are some things you should understand before it's too late. Your car insurance coverage is one of them. Call Amica for a quote and we'll work harder to explain your options. For example, what's the difference between single limit and split limit coverage? Discover the car insurance you really need before you really need it. Call Amica now or get a quote at amica.com. Welcome to Amica. This is helpfulness insured.
The Cowboys are trying to get to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1995.
When you're on America's team,
There's a lot of distraction out there.
the spotlight is always on.
You got the eyes of the world on you.
Spend a season with the Dallas Cowboys
We don't make the playoffs. Some people might not have jobs.
as they tackle it all.
It's going to be a hell of a story.
All or nothing. The Dallas Cowboys.
I'd like to alert you to a special hour of television coming up next week called NFL Total Access QB18. Because between free agency and the draft, this is an offseason dominated by quarterback movement. And I ain't talking in the pocket. On the show, a dream team of experts. Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, former dual threat Michael Robinson, college quarterback and NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah, and former UCLA coach and Rosen whisperer Jim Mora. From Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith to Tyrod Taylor holding down the fort for Baker Mayfield, from veterans in a new town to rookies offering a new hope, it is the most important person on the field. It's the most important personnel decision to get right. So who did? That's NFL Total Access. QB18, Tuesday, May 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Welcome to Good Morning Football. We're live in New York City. Happy Thursday. It is May 3rd. My name's Kay Adams. We've got Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, and Nate Burleson. I'm looking for a poll question here. You're trying to see which rookie. I don't know. I don't have it.
Oh. Which rookie quarterback would be
figure
the
it out.
first to start?
I'm just very curious. I think my Josh Allen pick is losing in a big way.
Is that right? I need to know the front runner because I think it might be the number one pick. Guys, let us know. Keep voting at GMFB.
We got some breaking news to talk about, though. It's time for the lead block.
Lead block!
All right. What's up? Jason Wynn informing the Cowboys that owner Jerry Jones, he was telling them and coach Jason Garrett that Jason Wynn is, in fact, retiring. He's accepting a position as a broadcaster for ESPN on Monday Night Football. We sort of heard about this last week. He was going back and forth on the decision. So, Nate, 11 Pro Bowls. Only Tony Gonzalez has more receiving yards at the tight end spot. He is fourth all time on the receiving list. What kind of a player is the NFL losing now?
What are losing one of the guys who was basically the model of consistency on and off the field. Think about what you heard about him on the field and how you respected that and what you heard about him off the field. Nothing but great things. We're talking Man of the Year nominee and was well respected. We came out together in 03, and I remember us working out at API in Arizona, getting ready for the combine, and guys just talking trash. You know, young guys at college, that's what we do. We talk trash to each other. Yeah. And I was similar to Jason in the sense that I like to work first before I talk crazy to other individuals. And there was a group of guys looking at us working out together because we were duels that day. And he said, I bet you will get drafted before you guys. And it's kind of we're light, having fun with each other. And Jason doesn't say much. He looked back at him. He's like, you know what? I don't care where I get drafted. I bet you I have a longer career.
Wow.
And then he just got back to working out. And I never forgot that because, like, that was his mindset. Every day he was working for a longer goal or a different goal than most guys. So that was how we respected him going in, and that's how we saw him when we played against him. And that's what people are going to get in the booth. Oftentimes when people turn to the tube, they want consistency. They want to hear the same thing and know that it's coming from a very authentic and intelligent place. And that's what they're getting. They're getting a guy that is walking straight off the field and was known as one of the more consistent tight ends this game has ever seen. And you're going to get that same individual while you're watching a game. Kudos to Jason Witten and kudos to the new job and position you have.
There are these coveted jobs in the NFL, like, you know, NFL head coach or NFL quarterback. And there's always that, you're one of the 32, you know, and you look at Josh McDaniels and he passed on being a head coach at the Indianapolis Colts. And everyone was like, the most exclusive group, there are only 4 number 1 guys on broadcast TV. It's Chris Collinsworth, it's Troy Aikman, it's Tony Romo, and whoever was filling in for departing John Gruden here at ESPN. If he's ever going to get into broadcasting, you can't really say Romo's not going anywhere, Aikman's not going anywhere, Collinsworth's not going anywhere. if Jason Witten was ever going to get into broadcasting, this was the year to do it. He couldn't wait a year. Someone else would fill it. He would have missed the window. Cutler was in there for a second. He left. That seat's been filled. Like, this is how it works. So to me, this was if he was ever going to get into broadcasting, to have the plum job of Monday Night Football, the biggest spot, number one, the only game going on Monday nights. Jason Witten, if you have a broadcasting career in your future, this was the time to do it. He didn't want to be the Fox third guy. He didn't want to be the CBS fourth guy.
Right.
Monday Night Football is Joe Tessitore and Jason Witten now. I grew up, and it was obviously Al and Madden and Theodore. That's a whole generation right now, and Jason Witten's going to be teaching football to an entire generation of fans. I don't spite him for it. This was the time to do it, and he's going to do it.
I look at Jason Witten, and I think part of the reason is the Cowboys star, but also because for about 3 or 4 years now, he's had that thing hanging around him where it says, future Hall of Famer. Like when he makes a catch in the field, they'll say, future Hall of Famer Jason Witten. And I want to turn this discussion all the way up to 10. I think Jason Witten is a miracle. I think he's a human miracle based on what he has done with that organization off the field. I would put Jason Witten as a first ballot Hall of Famer, just how he's conducting himself. A miracle of composure. Just a brief look back of what Jason Witten has been through. Shows up as a third-round pick, famously runs over Bill Parcells in his first training camp. Not a great omen, okay? T.O. comes in. T.O. is in the media accusing Tony Romo and Jason Witten of having secret meetings behind his back. Tony Romo is called universally as a choker. This is his best friend as quarterback. A choker, can't win the big one. The Cabo trip. Jessica Simpson. Through all of this, Jason Witten doesn't say squat. Pac-Man Jones in. Jason Witten, the consummate leader. Tank Williams. Josh Brent and Jerry Brown. Dez has been a handful many, many times. And Jason Witten, I kind of identify almost as a parent. He never has the scream into a pillow moment. I defy anybody to look up a Jason Witten press conference moment, an interview walking off the field where he's terse, where he's impolite, where he's unprofessional, where he says, you know what, I can't take it anymore. Screw these guys. I'm here busting my ass every day, and they're getting arrested. They're not showing up for practice. He never does it. It is amazing to me. All the things he's done on the field, fantastic. No one ever in the league has been through more BS and handled it more professionally than Jason Witten.
Has there been a good soundbite from Jason Witten?
That's a good question.
He's not in the business of being a nice
Walter
guy.
Payton Manning of the Year to add to what he is off the field, a miracle, as you say. And I love hearing the story from Nate about him saying that in the locker room, because it's not what I think of when I think of Jason Witten. I do think of him as a sort of hemmed up, conservative guy. So do you ever have one of those friends that's really professional at work, and then you like take them up for happy hour and they are let loose, or you take them on a guy's weekend and they are a little more open and you see a different side? I feel like, given even just that little nugget that you dropped right now in GMFB, that he can maybe be that in the booth and show us a side of himself that we're going to want to see because we haven't seen it.
It's true, and it's weird, like, Jason Witten also has that thing where, like, you can't say anything negative about Jason Witten, and I respect him as hell, but, like, when I heard about all this negotiation and all the money, I was like, Jason Witten? He's never struck me as that charismatic guy who's like, oh my God, he just said the funny, crazy thing. Like Romo last year let it rip. He was doing the oohs and ahs and all these great breakdowns. I've never seen that side of Jason Witten. Obviously, whoever's invested in him says he's got some hidden talents.
But with that said, think about how we revere Chris Collinsworth and his career and where he's been since then. I mean, he's a face, he's a voice, he's what you want to listen to when you're trying to learn something. You're like, what did Chris say? How did he break that down? Now, I'm not saying that he's going to come in right away and be Chris, but it takes time to kind of earn the respect of the viewers. And what I do love about this, as great as he was on the field, Shrags, you know this, we all know this, we've been working in this job for a long time. This is a very unforgiving job. And if you're not good at it, if you don't put the work in, you'll get exposed quickly. What I do know about Jay is he puts that work in. Now, how will it translate? I'm not going to predict it like Tony Romo, how successful he's going to be, but I do know he's going to bust his ass to try to prove that he's one of the best in the game.
Taking your comments, of course, on Jason Witten, his retirement as the all-time leader in receptions, in receiving yards as a Dallas Cowboy. Now, we just spoke about Josh Rosen a little bit earlier. We're talking about all these rookies, and Browns executive Alonzo Highsmith was quoted as saying, there was something about him that bothered me. So Josh responded to that quote on the Rich Eisen show yesterday. Take a look.
I thought it was interesting he didn't talk to my girlfriend. I mean, maybe he was scared of someone actually saying something good about me. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
So there would have been no red flags, right? I mean, what would her scouting report of you have been, Josh?
It's amazing that you can pull a red flag from something with literally zero information. Like, he literally pulled absolutely no information from his encounter, and it managed to be a red flag.
So Dorsey said he had a gut feeling about Baker Mayfield, and this scout or this executive is saying that he sort of had a gut feeling after an encounter at an airport about Josh Rosen.
Yes, this is a weird story. So Alonzo Highsmith, a legend from Miami Hurricane, everything, he's an executive with the Browns. He's doing a lot of traveling, scouting all the quarterbacks, doing all his due diligence. Randomly, you ever go to the airport, you see a team, they're always wearing the matching jumpers and all that. He sees the UCLA logo all over the jumpers. It's the UCLA women's volleyball team. And this is Highsmith telling the story. Says he approached the coach. I'm waiting bored. Why not just do a little research? Says, Coach, what can you tell me about this Josh Rosen? The coach says, well, why don't you go ask his girlfriend? She's right over there. To which Highsmith said, that told me all I need to know. Now, that is a weird story for me.
In the way she said it.
It might have been an intonation, might have been either way, but it's a very weird story. He said he loved Rosen, and that in some way played some part, and I think it just speaks to draft minutia and all of Rosen has going for him. He's there saying he should have talked to my girlfriend. Maybe she'd say something positive about him. It's an unbelievably weird story. I cannot make sense of. Nobody travels more than you, dude.
I think Rosen looks good here.
You know, I like Rosen and how he's handled everything since this process started. I think about two words hanging over the head of all these young quarterbacks. With Baker Mayfield, it's hate me. You know, hate me or love me, but just you can hate me. And you look at Darnold and what the situation is, I'm ready. You know, you look at all these other quarterbacks, I'm ready. Josh Allen, just wait, just wait. You get Lamar Jackson, I'm talented. Like those two words. With Josh Rosen, I feel like it's, who cares? Like, you guys keep talking about all these other things. Who cares? Okay, you heard some story about a jacuzzi. Who cares? Oh, you tell me that I asked too many questions. Who cares?
So?
Like, yeah, it's so what? That's what it is, hanging over everything that happens around them. And you said it. All these things that are talked about, does it really matter when it comes to football? Does it really matter when it comes to him stepping in those lines? Because I'll tell you what, I play with some jerks, and I appreciate it for what they did on the field. I play with some guys that rub people the wrong way, but guess what? They motivated the hell out of their teammates. So I don't care about these side stories. All I care about is what happens when he steps on that grass and if he goes out there and does his job.
Zoe also said that he had Darnold one on his board until he met Mayfield and was like, all right, I met Mayfield. I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with the teams changing what they've studied on film the entire offseason, looking at college film, doing all the work, and then meeting someone and being like, all right, I met Baker Mayfield in a sit-down, and we talked, and I watched him work out, and suddenly he's my guy.
Right.
It seemed like a very interesting comment, that paired with that story.
This is a weird whodunit. Why did this happen?
It seems like there's a lot going on here, and that they end up with Mayfield, and we've got 30 different reasons why, but to say that I asked Josh Rosen's college girlfriend's volleyball coach, and she said, and he didn't ask the everyone goes about things in different ways, but it seems like that's an interesting approach to determining what kind of guy Josh Rosen is.
Speaking of Josh Rosen, we found out yesterday that Cardinals quarterback Sam Bradford sent a text to Rosen saying that he would be an open book. He'll help the rookie out. So should Josh have any questions or needs, he can reach out to Sammy B, and he's got him. So do veteran players, Nate, have an obligation to help incoming rookies who are clearly there to take their jobs?
No, let me emphatically say no.
Okay.
They do not have an obligation. There might be some unwritten rules morally that you should help out the younger guys, but there's the unwritten rules for the vets in football is that you're there to do your job. Here's how it is. You're given a plate of food. You eat it yourself. Somebody comes to the table. You say, go to the kitchen and get your own food. Go make your own food. I studied the recipe. I made this plate. This is for me. That's how most guys handle the league. Other guys, they get this plate. As soon as the young fella sits down, they say, all right, share this plate with me. Let me show you how this appetizer tastes. What about this entree and this dessert? All right, now you know how it tastes. I'm going to teach you how to make it. You go in the kitchen and make it yourself. I'll be here until you can make it yourself. Once I'm gone, you teach somebody else. That's how it was for me. I came in, there was Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper made me feel like Randy Moss. Randy Moss was so authentic and real with me. He told me that all I had was a small window of time when he was hurt in order for me to make my brand. And then I got to Marcus Robinson, who was a wide receiver, and I was fighting with him for the wide receiver position. And he said, listen, I'm here for you, and there's enough food on the table for everybody to eat. Go ahead and eat. So what I did when I got in the league, I just let everybody else study off my plate and take those gems. I remember to the point, Ryan Broyles, who was drafted second round by the Detroit Lions, put up crazy numbers in college at Oklahoma. And I thought to myself, damn, this is my replacement. I'm getting older. I got injuries, and he's going to replace me. I would give him all the jewels, all the tools, everything that he needed. To the point, one time we're sitting at a locker, he leans in, he's like, man, can I ask you something? Don't take this the wrong way. I just feel like you're so nice to me, you got to be leading me down the wrong path. Like, why? If you said it yourself, I'm here to replace you. Yeah. You said to me, if I do my job, you're going to be gone. Why? Why would you do that? And I was like, because. Like, that's the way the game goes. Eventually, I'm going to get older. You guys will get younger, faster, and cheaper. And selfishly, it all comes full circle. And I told him this. The reason I really want to give you every tool is because if I beat you out in training camp and I give you every tool you need to beat me, it's the most confident I'll ever be. Oh. Because I'm beating out the young dude that's here to replace me. And that's what the game should be. But not a lot of individuals approach it like that.
Yeah, and look, Favre wasn't great to Rodgers. I don't think Montana loved having Young behind him, and Brady certainly, from what we're hearing, wasn't giving Garoppolo every secret in the book. But you look at guys like Josh McCown and Drew Stanton and Colt McCoy, and there's a big group of guys who could play well into their 40s as being a reliable and well-liked backup / mentor. I don't know if Bradford's ready to give that torch away just yet. I think he still feels like his best years are ahead.
There's two species of this. I put Bradford in the first species. Bradford's been around. He's passed about a few teams. Josh McCown, same deal. Josh McCown got a new deal in the offseason. I'm sure there was a conversation about, we're going to bring in a guy. Maybe you can help him. That's part of what you offer. Well, the fascinating ones are the made guys who get a first or second round quarterback. Favre and Rodgers, Brady and Garoppolo, Peyton and Brock Osweiler. That's why, to me, as interesting as the Bradford thing is, the Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson one is the most interesting because he is not coming to be a part of it. Joe Flacco wants to play another 8 years. Don't come from my job. Sam Bradford and Josh McCown, I think, know what time it is. Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson, though, that's the meeting I want to be in.
Your thoughts at #GMFB. So much to talk about on the show. The Cowboys believe they have the quarterback of the future. And we are joined by the legendary wide receiver Drew Pearson. We'll ask him about Jason Witten deciding to retire officially this morning and what the confidence level should be in Dak Prescott, who's without over 50% of his targets, 217 between Dak and Jason Witten. We'll be back with Drew Pearson live on Good Morning Football.
217.
The best barbecue comes from those hole-in-the-wall places. You know, places like a window that you can drive your car up to. Arby's, we have the meats.
Golden Corral is off the hook with the ultimate lunch, just $6.99 when you buy a drink. Texas barbecue beef, boneless wings, and more. It is on, but it won't last long. The $6.99 ultimate lunch. Your choice rules.
That's why I wear new Everlight underwear from Fruit of the Loom.
Why would I need Everlight underwear?
Because you don't notice you're wearing it.
Like you're not gonna notice it. No, he's right. It's made from unbelievably light material. Light material?
You believe this hype about underwear you don't notice?
You've never heard of Everlight? What, do you live in a cave?
What, do you live in a cave?
I think they're onto us. You hearing this?
What?
No, I'm not. These are just earmuffs. So cold.
New Everlight from Fruit of the Loom. So light you won't even notice it.
To test new posted extreme notes, they came to an extreme place, right here in Alaska. And well, these posted extreme notes really stick in the toughest conditions. They'll help you get it said and get just about any job done, especially if it ain't no regular office job. Water resistant with DuraHold paper and adhesive. New posted extreme notes. They're tailored for tough.
So, what's new?
We just switched to Geico and got more.
More.
They've been saving folks money for over 75 years.
A company you can trust.
Geico even helped us with homeowners insurance.
More sounds great.
Gotta love more! Right, honey?
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
When night falls,
it's time to play football.
Legends rise.
A beautiful Thursday night. Houston, we have a quarterback.
Touchdown! Raiders win it!
Pirouette. Are you kidding me?
With a new home on Fox, streaming on Prime Video, and every game on NFL Network.
Let's go!
He's using a CPAP machine for his sleep apnea. Now he sleeps like a baby. But if it isn't cleaned well, it could make him sick. I'm so relieved we found the So Clean sanitizer.
I'm Dr. Joseph Cranen, a sleep apnea specialist.
I recommend SoClean to my patients because it kills 99.9% of bacteria and germs, significantly reducing the risk of infection from an improperly cleaned CPAP.
Just drop the mask in and walk away. No more taking it apart and washing by hand every day. SoClean safely sanitizes and disinfects your mask, hose, and reservoir without any harsh chemicals and works on all popular CPAPs. Try the world's first automated CPAP sanitizer risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-397-8446.
And no more getting sick from a dirty CPAP.
Call now to try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-397-8446 or visit trysoclean.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We have a guest for you, so sit right there. Join us right now, legendary wide receiver from one of the marquee franchises in the entire NFL. He was on the receiving end of the original Hail Mary pass. He was a star wide receiver for America's team. He's the founding member of the 88 Club, and he's here with us this morning. Let's give a big GMFB welcome to Dallas Cowboys legend, and yes, I said legend, Drew Pearson.
All right. What's up, Drew?
Hey,
Drew,
good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
We are huge fans. You have zero idea, so get ready for this chaos that's about to ensue. But let's talk about some news that dropped today, and that's Jason Witten committing to retirement and then taking that job for Monday Night Football. What do you know about Jason Witten, the player, and what do you think we're going to get with Jason Witten, the analyst?
Well, first of all, Jason Witten as a player, you've seen it for 15 years, the consistency, the level of performance that he brought each and every week to the Cowboy football team, and the things he did between the sidelines each and every week. But the real value of Jason Witten was what he meant to that locker room and the things he did in the locker room and keeping that team together despite maybe issues that they might have had, off the field issues. Jason Witten was the constant in that locker room, keeping everybody focused and keeping everybody together. So the Cowboys are going to miss him as a player, as a person. There's no question about that. But as a broadcaster, I think he'll make the transition really smoothly. He knows a lot about football. He's always the guy in the locker room standing up and doing interviews, so he's comfortable in front of the camera. And just like Tony Romo made a nice, smooth transition into the broadcast booth, I think Jason Witten will do the same thing.
Drew, if I'm a Cowboys fan waking up this morning, I'm thinking about a transition as well. We lose Dez Bryant. We lose Jason Witten. That's 1,600 receptions over their careers. When you're looking forward to this season, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, what should Cowboys fans expect from now the post-Jason Witten, Dez Bryant era in Dallas?
Well, I think we expect something new. You know, when you go through change like that, losing key players in your offensive system that have been key players and vital parts of that offense for so many years, now you got to change. You got to make changes, and you got to adjust your offense to take advantage of the new talent that you do have. I think we've improved our receiver class immensely, and I think we're going to see that on the field in their production. Now, you put that in there with Dak improving in his third year as a starting quarterback. You got Zeke Elliott, hopefully for the whole season. And now you're improving your offensive line as well with the depth, and the injury situation has improved in that regard. So I think we're going to see a different type of offense, a more open type of offense, taking advantage of the weapons that we do have.
Can't help but notice, Drew, you're in front of that Cowboys logo. You're in the building. This news breaks this morning in real time. You are there. You're our feet on the ground. So I'm going to put the reporter role on your hat right now. What's the feeling in the building as this news becomes official?
Well, I think it's a feeling of disappointment and excitement as well. The disappointment that, you know, Jason Witten will not be here, but the excitement that he's going to move on to extend his career through the game of football. So it's kind of mixed emotions, but here's the deal. You play 15 years, your hope is to win a Super Bowl and go through the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. But hopefully this year, as Jason Witten retires, Dez Bryant moves on, this might be the year for the Cowboys. And you know the old saying, you keep plugging along, and sooner or later you're going to break through. And if you give up, that might be the time that you do break through. So hopefully as Jason Witten goes on into the booth and the Cowboys continue to roll on, this will be the year for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. And instead of Jason Witten being part of it on the field, he'll be part of it off the field.
All right, Drew, enough about Jason Witten. That's my guy. Let's talk about a real legend. That's you.
Let's
You're
go.
a legend for America's team in a time where we know the game was different. The Super Bowls were different. You were even the co-creator of the Hail Mary. But watching today's game, even me being 4 years removed, I think to myself, man, all the penalties they calling and the free running and you can't hit the wide receiver, I'd be a Hall of Famer right now. What about you? Planning your day in the rules and how they applied to receivers back then. Do you ever think about today's game and think to myself, you know what? I'd be the Odell Beckham of the NFL right now if I could play in 2018.
Well, I don't know about OBJ, but I'd be pretty effective. I'd be pretty effective in the NFL for sure. There's no question about that. The rule changes certainly over the years have been in favor of the passing game and particularly the wide receivers. You know, back in the day when I was playing, Nate, they could beat you up at the line of scrimmage. They can bump you. They can cut you. They can hold you as long as the ball wasn't in the air. But once that ball is in the air, of course, you know, now the pass interference rules take place. But it's a different game now. You're allowed to come off the line of scrimmage. You're allowed to run through the secondary. They're throwing the ball on first, second, and third downs now. Running game is not as prevalent as it used to be in the NFL. So it's changed a lot. But the main thing for the receivers is the rule changes. You know, I could probably run through that secondary, make some catches. And there only is a few places now they can hit somebody. You can't hit me in the head. You can't hit me below the waist and the knees and the legs. You can't target that. So maybe I can even make a comeback. Me and you, Nate, both.
All right, let's do it.
Well, Drew, something else has changed a lot, and it's the NFL draft. You are responsible for ushering the draft into what I call the attitude era, where it is part boxing match, part rap battle, part draft picks. Let's go back to April 28th, 2017, and revisit the founding father of the NFL's attitude era.
And on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Dean Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me, with the second pick and the 60th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
That is an all-time great pick announcement. I am standing and applauding. Drew Pearson soaking in the hate and spitting it back.
Only in America, Drew. America's team. So
Only in
we talked for a
America's
year.
team.
That's it. We talked for a year, sir. How would they respond when it goes into Jerry World? Do they bring out Will Smith? Is it Dawkins? Is it Nick Foles? Who could it possibly be? Nay, they sent out a kicker in glasses who's never won a Super Bowl to respond to the legend. Here's how this went. This is the guy who soaked in the hate and spit it back at you.
Tonight, I'm representing the Philadelphia Eagles, NFC East champs, divisional champs, NFC champs, and world champs! The world champs! Hey, Dallas, the last time you were in the Super Bowl, these draft picks weren't born!
Drew Pearson, you're on.
Wide right. Again, Dave Akers.
Talk to him, Drew. Everything the world is watching.
You missed that. You missed it. Game on the line. Time running out. You had a chance to kick the game-winning field goal. You go wide right once again. Just a weak rendition of trying to come back at Cowboy fans with the Eagles. You know, they won the Super Bowl. So many great Eagle players. Where's the great Bill Bergey? Where's the great Harold Carmichael? How about Mike Quick? Okay. Anybody they could have brought in there. Even Bill Bradley, he's down the road in Austin. They could have picked him up and put him on a bus to be there. But they picked David Akers. You know, I was really surprised when I was sitting there watching that. I'm scratching my bald head and I'm saying, no way. They failed, and it was definitely wide right on that one. We missed.
Best! The legend Listen, I'm already excited for next year.
Is that what you wanted, Kyle?
Hell yes. It's incredible. Drew, you're the best. That was like your sequel right there. It's incredible.
Hey, you're saying all these awful things about David Akers, but you do have something in common. You were both undrafted free agents that made it big in the NFL. We just finished the draft. There's a lot of undrafted guys still trying to make it. What is your advice to them?
Well, it's your opportunity. You got to take advantage of the opportunity. You know, back in the day when I wasn't drafted, 17 rounds, about 442 players, I was very disappointed. Then when I got signed as a free agent, I had a chance to sign with Green Bay, Pittsburgh, or Dallas. I ended up going with Dallas mainly because their history of free agents making their roster and their proximity to Tulsa, 3.5 hours away. I could get there, drive down there to work out or do whatever I had to do to make that team. But when I got to training camp, there were 100 rookies there. And so, you know, the odds might be against you as a free agent, but you're still in the door. You still have an opportunity to make a football team. And what you got to do is take one day at a time and hope that one day leads to another day in training camp. So that's what it was for me, hopefully for these upcoming free agents as well.
I'm amazed at that response to David Akers. And I'm also amazed with Kyle's description of David Akers as a guy in glasses who was a kicker who did not win a Super Bowl. Drew, you did win a Super Bowl. So my question to you, if you want to talk about the Eagles coming back off a Super Bowl victory,
he's got the ring.
What would be your advice to a team that might have enjoyed a few months?
That's for Nate.
What's your advice to a team that might have enjoyed a few months having won a Super Bowl? How do you come back and how do you play that next season off of the victory and off of the high of winning that ring?
Yeah, you got to get focused. There's no question. My earpiece. You got to get focused. There's no question about that. Refocus. And a lot of times you think after you win a championship, you don't have to work that hard going into the next season. But Coach Landry told us once we win a championship, now everybody's coming. We're the criteria. So we had to work a little harder, and we went right back from Super Bowl 12 to Super Bowl 13. It's a little harder now because of social media. You got so many people telling you how great you are. You're hearing it everywhere you go. You're reading it. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little harder to refocus. But once you get back into the groove of working out and preparing for the season, you got to put that stuff behind you and start concentrating on the task at hand. And that's becoming physically in the best shape possible to avoid injuries and hoping your performance that year leads your team right back to another Super Bowl.
All right, Drew. So the last month, the latest member of the 88 Club, Dez Bryant, was released. You and Michael Irvin, you guys are very vocal about your support for Dez. Now, the rumors are spreading that there could be a possible makeup. What do you think about the decision for the Cowboys to move on from one of the best Cowboys wide receivers?
Yeah, I know it had to be a tough decision for the Cowboys to move on from Dez Bryant. You know, he's part of the 88 Club. There's only 3 members in that club, and to lose one of the members is very disappointing to Michael and myself. But it could be the best opportunity for Dez and could be the best opportunity for the Cowboys. We just got to see how it plays out. But I do have a lot of respect for the Cowboys for making this tough decision. A lot of times you get a player on your roster, he's there for a while, you become friends or acclimated to that guy where to the point where it's tough to make that tough decision. But Coach Landry, I was on his staff for one season. I saw the inner workings behind the scenes working and making these personnel decisions. And Coach Landry had to let a lot of good people go, but he let those people go for the best interest of the Dallas Cowboys. Dez Bryant is a good person. He's still a good football player. Wherever he goes, hope he continues to wear the number 88. But it was a tough decision for the Cowboys. And when they're making these kind of decisions, it's in the best interest of the football team. So let's take the personal side out of it and let the business side take over. And that's what the Cowboys did in this situation.
Drew, we appreciate you, man. You were a legend on the field and off of it, particularly announcing draft picks. And I'm going to tell you this. I just signed a 10-year contract announcing Detroit Lions draft picks. So I'm coming for the title next year, okay? I'm coming for that title.
Come on, Nate. Bring it on, man. I know you got the juice to do it, but let's see what you can do once you're under the lights.
Okay, all right. Hey, Drew, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining us, being honest,
Thank you,
transparent,
guys.
and thank you for sharing everything, that knowledge of the game that you have, man. Thank you.
Wide right?
Thank you, and good morning, America.
All right, here we go.
Great show. Why not? He's talking a lot about 88. He wore 88, but we have to talk more about the guy who wore 82, Jason Witten, retiring after 15 years in the league, 11 Pro Bowls. Got to talk about that in a little bit, but also we will have a GM on the show.
Oh,
Jason
speaking of
Light
Jason.
joining our show, one of our favorite personalities, and he will be here talking about how they tried to solidify both sides of the ball in the draft and what realistic expectations should be for the stick carriers.
Did Drew just go Captain America with it?
I was a C-130 mechanic in the Corps, so I'm not happy unless my hands are dirty. Between running a business and 4 kids, we're busy, knowing that USAA will always have my back. That's just one less thing you have to worry about. We are the Cochran family, and we will be USAA members for life.
The King's turning up the heat and bringing the spice with these spicy nuggets. Filled with juicy white meat and priced at $10 for $1.69. A deal so hot you can taste it. 10 spicy nuggets for $1.69. Only at Burger King.
You want a home with at least 2,000 square feet. Actually, make it 2,500. You need Realtor.com, the home of home search. You want a home with a 2-car garage to tear down. You need Realtor.com, the home of home search.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Search with all-new speed. Shop with all-new control. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor on Auto Trader, so you'll know the price is fair. Supercharge your search and find your next car faster than ever. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Sorry. First dates can be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. Kind of like my constipation. I am so backed up. Believe me, I've been trying.
Senecot's natural vegetable laxative ingredient means occasional constipation won't be on your mind.
Did I make it more uncomfortable?
No. It's fine. Say no more to occasional constipation with clinically proven effective Senecot. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Introducing Rust-Oleum Wipe New. Just wipe it on and instantly restore weathered, sun-damaged vehicles. Just one wipe will keep your vehicle looking like new for years to come. Nothing else compares in ease, durability, and staying power. Wipe New's groundbreaking formula outperforms traditional brands and has created a new standard that cannot be duplicated. Wipe New Headlight will instantly repair foggy, discolored headlights and keep them looking brand new. Rust-Oleum Wipe New products are guaranteed and available at fine retailers.
He was on the wrong side of controversy.
Everybody on the sidelines like, I think we're about to get screwed.
The quarterback's arm is going forward.
Then struggled in his new home.
Had no clue how I got there. I think I was looking for a way out.
Until he brought glory back to Green Bay.
The title is back in town.
And cemented his Hall of Fame legacy where it all began.
Just watch this every move because it's walking greatness.
Charles Woodson of Football Life, tomorrow at 9, only on NFL Network.
What?
Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We are so excited to talk to Bucs GM Jason Light in just a little bit, but we got news, baby, right here on GMFB. Jason Witten is finishing a Hall of Fame career with the Dallas Cowboys, and he will be in the booth for Monday Night Football. Thoughts, guys?
Shout out to Jason Witten. Listen, I can appreciate a guy that transitions out of the game and he has a plan B, and this is the best plan B there is. It's almost like a 1A after you have a Hall of Fame career. You know, even though he played for the Cowboys, he's a superstar, he will go down as one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. It's very difficult, and I don't want to minimize how difficult it is for guys to find a job, let alone be happy in something. This will keep him close to the game. He's going to do a great job, you know, and we get to see a different side of him. For the most part, I believe a lot of people don't know Jason Witten, and this is going to be a chance for him to kind of expand his brand.
Which makes it a really odd hire. I mean, if you're saying that we don't know Jason Witten after 12 years and he's the voice of Monday Night Football, I mean, not odd, but it's a if you have a Dallas Cowboys star on your helmet, you will get the lead job at one. I mean,
2 years in a row.
Aikman, Romo, and Witten are the lead guys for 3 of the 4 networks, and they had Dallas Cowboys stars. America's team, that is right. That's in your living rooms every Sunday and Monday now.
There's a lot to unpack in this. Of course, his playing career and everything. But as a broadcaster, I cannot wait. I'm genuinely intrigued. I kind of thought Romo would be cool and the cowboy quarterback thing. What's Witten's signature segment going to be? Is it Witten's wit? What are we doing with Witten? We got to have something to package this thing. That first game he calls, Kay, big time.
Who's going to live up to the standard set by Jason Witten as the tight end for the Cowboys? Unbelievable.
Goddard.
We'll see.
Went to Philly.
Yeah, I was like, no, that didn't happen.
I don't know.
We'll break down all of that. Jason Witten, congratulations on a career. I'm sure we'll be hitting up the NFL Films archives for some footage as he turns 36 this weekend.
And speaking of living up to legacies,
yeah.
He's a repeat guest, one of our show's favorite. He might be our very favorite general manager. We've gone through everything with this man, from the Hard Knocks experience to his perspiration habits. I related personally to his son Charlie's promising youth lacrosse career. Now, though, he is here as one of the GMs being listed as one of the biggest winners of the entire NFL draft. Guys, let's do it again. Let's welcome Bucs GM Jason Licht to Good Morning Football. Yeah. What's up, Jason? Good morning. How are you, my friend? Welcome back.
Good morning, guys. It's glad to be back.
All right, let's get right on this, Jason. You're 7th on the clock down in Texas. The clock is ticking. Derwin James is there, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Roquan Smith. Others are just sitting there, ready to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The phone rings. Take us through that moment with the Bills. How did that trade go down?
Well, we prepared for just about every scenario that you can think of, and that was one that we kept coming back to over and over, you know, in the 2 weeks leading up to the draft with John Spytek, myself, Greenberg, Mike Beal, that if Vita was sitting there and he was 4th on our board and he's sitting there, do we move back, pick up extra picks, run the risk of losing him, but potentially still get him? But, you know, that was the risk that we ran. We still had another player or two that we would have been happy taking at 12 if Vita was gone. But we ended up getting the extra picks. We ended up getting Vita, and we were very ecstatic about it.
You trade back to 12, and you do get Vita Vea. What did you see in that big man that made him take you over the local favorite, Derwin James?
Now, we like Derwin a lot. Derwin would have been a really good fit for us here, too. But, you know, kind of the theme along the whole offseason is building up the trenches. I think I mentioned to you guys last time I talked to you, we want to kick ass up there. So, you know, Vita, you know, a big man, very athletic, mean on the field, tough guy. Just went along with the theme of what we were doing, and we want to build from front to back.
Jason, I just feel like you're so delightful. You are our favorite GM, my favorite GM, to come on the show, yet your team is so mean. Peter keeps stressing on how tough and nasty and mean this team got this season. So you had Ryan Jensen in free agency, Bo Allen, JPP, all in free agency. And then you add Vita Vea, who's the 4th guy on your board. Congrats on grabbing him. But Alex Kappa also in the 3rd round. What is he all about? And
wow.
This is, you gotta fill us in. This is his come to, you know, GMFB moment. And how much tougher will the 2018 Bucs be than the 2017 version?
You know, he looks like a bigger version of Ham Porter from Sandlot there.
The great Gambino?
You're killing me, S'mores. You know, like I said, it was the theme, and it just fell right for us this year. The guys that we wanted, you know, there are plenty of guys that we wanted, so it's not like we got it exactly, you know, narrowed it down to 8 guys and got those 8 guys, but the guys that we wanted were there. And, you know, Alex is another tough guy. We got to have another bouncer up front. I think Mayock called him a barroom bouncer. He is. He's a tough guy. So we got him, Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Donovan Smith. You know, we got to protect that franchise back there. So we're very excited about that.
All right, speaking of protecting that franchise in that backfield, you scoop up Ronald Jones in the 2nd round. With Doug Martin gone, is it safe to assume, and I know we don't want to make assumptions and we don't want to give rookies anything, but is it safe to assume that the USC running back could lead the Bucs backfield this season?
I'd say it's safe to assume that he's going to make an impact. You know, we're very happy with Peyton Barber, and we feel like now we've got a pretty good back, you know, room there with those backs that we have. Bringing Charles Sims back, you know, him, Jaquiz Rogers. Yeah, I think he's going to make an impact. To be the starter and the lead dog right away, I can't say that, but we're very excited to have him. He brings something that we haven't had for a while here, and that's juice. So he's an explosive runner. We like that about him. So now there's going to be a good competition there.
Yeah. We love some competition. We love some juice. We love how you handled yourself at the draft, Jason. And big shout out to the stick carriers as always. But we need to discuss the biggest bust in Bucs history. I'm talking about Jaja the Parrot. Jason, you cannot preach toughness and just let this slide. I need to know, we were supposed to hear a pick announcement from Jaja. It was just frozen. It fell flat. Did the Turk come and ask for Jaja the Parrot's playbook after that disaster on Saturday?
Well, I'm a little somber today because I let Jaja go today.
Okay. Oh, man.
You know, I had to put on the face and act like I was a little upset. I really wasn't. You know, you expect your picks to rise to the occasion and be in the moment.
Yep.
Obviously, a complete failure on Jaja.
Yep.
She's a good bird. But when you look back and you see what other birds you had on the board, we had Toucan Sam. We had a Snowball.
Yep.
You know, even Petey the Parakeet from Dumb and Dumber had more juice. So
the headless
we're going to have
Petey didn't even have a head.
We're going to have a workout today, and you know, I promise you, we're going to do better and exceed expectations next year.
Well, usually they see their players will land on their feet, but he has wings, so he's going to be all right. Yeah, and Jason, I would say you're doing Jaja solid, letting her catch on with another team. You're letting her go. Maybe she can spray paint black and go join the Ravens or something. You know what I mean? Another team could find a use for her.
There's no doubt. We thought about practice squad, but it was just time. Sometimes it's just time to cut ties.
Rip the Band-Aid. This is the guy. This is the best GM in the league. This is the guy.
Well done.
Vita Vea and Derwin James both were drafted, but today's news might be Jason Witten stepping away from the Cowboys and stepping into the broadcast booth. You've been around the league 2 decades. What impact did Jason Witten have on the NFL, and what's your thoughts in relation to those news?
You know, Jason Witten, he's a guy that we still talk about to this day, and we will for a long time when we're going through scouting meetings. You know, it's not always the speed and the strength and the things that you can measure that make a player great. It's the heart, it's the intelligence, and this guy was just a super instinctive player that just found a way to get the ball in his hands and found a way to do something with it. He's a legendary player. He's a surefire Hall of Famer, and you know, I'm happy for him, and I'm happy also because we played Dallas this year. So we don't have to face it.
That's it, Jason. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining us. I'm wishing Jaja well. I think we both agree that it just wasn't a right fit.
Yeah.
Just wasn't a right fit. We're going back to the drawing board to how we evaluate parrots.
Perfect. Jason Licht, thank you so much for joining Good Morning Football. We'll have you on again soon. Go Bucs. We appreciate it.
Jaja the Parrot cannot catch a break. Neither can the Cowboys, losing another offensive weapon in Jason Witten, deciding to retire after 15 years in the league, 4th all-time in receptions. What does it mean for the Cowboys? We'll talk about it after this.
People were probably outside looking in saying, I don't think he can get this job done. Make sure you stay tuned in. I got a surprise for you.
4-3-8. Shaquem Griffin is dominating.
The Seattle Seahawks select Shaquem Griffin.
Shaquem, get to play with your brother again, okay?
Can't even breathe right now.
Yeah.
We do everything together. Now we can truly say that we made it to the next chapter of our life and we still together.
This is just flat out awesome. I am 2 for $4 treat nights at DQ. Get any 2 medium sundaes or dipped cones for just $4 after 8 p.m. and make any date a treat date. Date with grandma? Date with Destiny? Date with a girl named Destiny. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
So you'll be here to help protect my car?
State Farm will be here.
Okay. What about here?
Yep. Nice. My screen didn't crack.
Thank goodness. What about...
Obviously.
Here?
I don't think so.
That makes sense.
What about here?
Here too.
Awesome.
That wasn't my fault.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
How many cool days does it have left? How many washes? How many hot showers? How many fresh snacks before your appliances die? Leaving you with a huge bill homeowners insurance won't cover. Be sure your budget's protected with an American Home Shield home warranty. We help cover the cost to repair or replace major components of essential home systems and appliances, no matter their age, like your air conditioner, washer, electrical system, and more. Limitations and exclusions apply. Count on American Home Shield to get you back up and running. All home systems and appliances will eventually die. Don't let them make a mess of your budget. For free information, call 1-800-779-5605. That's 1-800-779-5605. Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield.
Show us them muscles, baby!
Did somebody say muscle?
Y'all boys ready to play some football?
Watch me.
We needed to sell our home, and there was a lot of money on the line. We needed an agent who knew what they were doing. Luckily, we found HomeLight. HomeLight showed us the best agents in our neighborhood based on their actual track record. Who sells quickly? Who sells for top dollar? In the end, we went with Ben. Ben sold our house in just 2 weeks for $55,000 over asking. There's no question. When it's time to sell, the place to go is HomeLight. Join the thousands of people who have sold their home by going to HomeLight.com.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, AFC South, one of the best divisions, who had the best draft. Special guest Yannick Ngakoue can't be impartial. Power Rankings guru Elliot Harrison has to be. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
I don't know. Sitting here, the NFL Network newsroom. And Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones saying on Wednesday they were going to let Jason Witten take all the time he needed to make his decision on whether to return or head to the broadcast booth. Well, that decision came this morning. Witten informing Cowboys owner Jerry Jones he is indeed retiring after 15 seasons. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo confirming the news this morning. Witten will move to the broadcast booth, accepting a position with Monday Night Football. Witten has taken some time to make the decision after the story first broke last week that he was contemplating retirement. Witten leaves the Cowboys as the franchise's all-time leader in games played, catches, and receiving yards. With Witten and Dez Bryant both gone, Dallas losing their top 2 receivers from the 2017 season. Well, Panthers tight end Greg Olsen interviewed for the Monday Night Football job Witten is now taking. Olsen ending up signing a 2-year deal worth $17.1 million with Carolina. Olsen saying he's glad things worked out the way that they did as he stays with Carolina. And Olsen playing in the Wells Fargo Pro-Am with linebacker Luke Kuechly serving as his caddy, schlepping his teammates' sticks around the course. Ryan Khalil was there too, but working in a security capacity of some kind. Kuechly was Olsen's caddy one other time as well. Said Olsen about Kuechly, "I've got the most expensive caddy in PGA Tour history on my bag, so I'm in good shape." We should remind people that Kuechly did have shoulder surgery in February. He says his shoulder is fine, and he's likely good to go for training camp.
That's what I like to hear. All the superstars coming back. Will Selva out there. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Now, the playmakers, the showstoppers, the human highlight reels, these are the best in the business, as voted on by the best in the business. The top 100 players of 2018, always a hot topic at the breakfast table. It continues Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Who got robbed? Ask them. They say all of them. You can see it right here on NFL Network. Now, we put out a Twitter poll asking which rookie quarterback would be the first to make his start next season. The results are in. You might be surprised. Over 4,000 of you voted. We love you for it, and we'll share those after this.
Introducing new Post-it Extreme Notes. They stick in tough conditions, so you can get it set and get just about any job done. Water resistant with Durahold paper and adhesive. New Post-it Extreme Notes. They're tailored for tough.
Euro. Arby's, we have the meats.
It's just a burst pipe. I can fix it.
No.
With Claim Rate Guard, your rates won't go up just because of a claim.
I totally could have.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Golden Corral is off the hook with the ultimate lunch, just $6.99 when you buy a drink. Texas barbecue beef, boneless wings, and more. It is on, but it won't last long. The $6.99 ultimate lunch. Your choice rules.
Don't juggle your home life and work life without it. And don't forget who you're really working for without it. Funding to help grow your business. Another way we have your back. The powerful backing of American Express. Don't do business without it.
Think about it. There must be a higher
Just, wow. Blue Link unlocked my husband's Kona.
Thanks, babe.
Introducing the SUV that's big on tech.
You should see the moon tonight.
Are you serious?
The first ever Hyundai Kona with Blue Link. Life on Earth just got a little more intelligent.
Who are the top 100 players in the NFL?
He's an animal. He's a freaking nation.
We went straight to the source to find out.
He just plays at one speed, and it's very violent.
When the countdown continues, a former Madden cover boy shows up on the list.
You know not only what he means to his team, but like what he means to the culture of football.
And a 6-year veteran finally gets his due.
That guy is a monster.
He's definitely one of the greatest players in the NFL, probably in NFL history.
The top 100 players of 2018. Monday at 8, only on NFL Network.
What you don't see can hurt you. Today's connected world is full of threats you may not see if you just monitor your credit to help protect your identity. LifeLock sees more, like your personal information on the dark web. And now with the power of Norton, we detect threats like ransomware too, to help protect your identity and devices. Plus, if there's an identity theft problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 Million Protection Package. Get new LifeLock with Norton, starting at $9.99 a month.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Paths to the Draft, the Aftermath brings you recaps and debates on every team's picks. Which teams got better? Which teams maybe left us some more holes to fill? We have all of that. It's the in-depth analysis that you can't get anywhere else. Paths to the Draft, the Aftermath, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, and only right here on NFL Network. We love that you guys are a part of the show at #GMFB. We had a bit of a Twitter poll situation going on about rookie quarterbacks and who would be the guy to start first. So let's go to Twitter. I want to check it out. Let's check out this thing. Oh, and Baker Mayfield coming in hot.
Everyone's telling me. Hugh Jackson says no. John Dorsey comes on the show yesterday, says no. Let's think about long-term. Patience is a virtue. Why are we rushing him out there? But the fans, and I'll say at least myself, I'd like to see Baker as soon as possible.
As usual, Ohio swinging a pole. That's how it works, guys. #1 overall pick start. 5 out of the last 6 have started week 1. I think he will too.
My takeaway is he won at 30%. They're close, all 4 of them. All 4 of them could start week 1, maybe.
And that's true. And, you know, okay, I'm right there with you when it comes to quarterbacks. I love to see these guys sit and learn and soak up the game. It's rare that a guy leaves college and he can dominate at a level like Deshaun Watson did last year, Carson Wentz did. It happens, but it's rare. And I feel like these guys all are in very unique situations in that the guy that's in front of them, the undisputed starter right now, and it's going to be tough for them to lose their jobs.
If Mayfield outplays Tyrod every day in practice and throughout preseason, and they go with Tyrod just to make a point, or
it's a savage move.
I think Dorsey was on the
Pretty
show
savage.
yesterday. Tom Savage. Pretty savage of you.
I like it. See what I did there?
Look, Dorsey was on the show yesterday. We asked him, is this a competition or what? He had every opportunity to say, I back the head coach. It is Tyrod's job to lose. It is Tyrod's job. He did not. And John Dorsey is a no BS type of guy. He did not do that.
And Josh Allen's third on the depth chart.
Yeah, probably second. Yeah.
We'll see how that works. Guys, I got some news for you. Not the Jason Witten news.
Oh.
Tomorrow's our last day in the studio.
What?
Our last show ever in this studio.
Oh, snap.
Which means we got to burn the thing down.
Let's do it. I'm going to leave my shoes on the floor and walk off.
We'll
Tim
be
Riggins.
here tomorrow.
Up
You don't want to miss it. We'll explain. We're not going anywhere. We'll explain. We're moving, just like these 2 ships moving in the night.
See you later. Ship's headed.
Red Robin is the place to drop in for some yum, to celebrate cravings, to bond over burgers and bacon. And there's no such thing as the last fry. So come burger at our place, or get your Red Robin to go. Try one of 5 Tavern Double Burgers for only $6.99 each, anytime. And of course, they're always served with bottomless steak fries. Let's burger.
Red Robin. Yum.
Where's your pain?
Right here. Right here. Both elbows.
Take on the pain. Introducing CopperFit. Advanced cutting-edge compression garments designed to help relieve muscle and joint soreness.
Where has this been for the last few years? If I can put this to the rigorous test of an NFL athlete and it can work for me with all the joint pain that I've had, it'll definitely work for you. I pushed this product to the max and it performed great at every level.
Helps reduce swelling for faster recovery.
CopperFit has helped me a lot, and I've seen a huge difference. The pain I was having literally felt like someone was stabbing me in the knees. I have pretty much lost all hope. They said you need to quit. It's not going to get better. I refused. To me, I feel really good inside, and I've accomplished something, and CopperFit has helped me do that.
High-performance compression fabric designed for faster recovery, support, and guaranteed relief of muscle aches and pains. And blended with powerful odor-reducing copper. 2 technologies, 1 ultimate compression garment.
I definitely recommend it to anybody to give it a try that has pain. I noticed that a couple of days after, it didn't really hurt. And I was like, wait a minute, is this real? This is very real. And just with the CopperFit, honestly, for the first week, I've noticed results.
Comfortable, lightweight compression sleeves, tough enough for any active lifestyle.
Construction isn't light duty. I couldn't pick up a gallon of milk. Within a few days of using the CopperFit, mobility in my arm was 100% better. It's almost like winning the lottery.
Don't make your body wait another minute. Call 1-800-709-7294 or on the web at getcopperfit.com. Get your choice of 1 compression elbow sleeve or knee for $19.99. Order now.